Oh, the mic's on. I thought it was on mute. Hey guys, good morning. Happy Friday. If you are hearing this, you're alive and you have made it to another Friday successfully. That's how I track if my life's going well. Good morning, guys. Tap the screen, tap the screen. We've made it to Friday. I can't message you, but would like a link to the Discord. Matt, okay. Yeah, so you can't, this is where you message at Felice Navidad Live. This is a TikTok account. Just message this TikTok account and say you want a Discord link. Is it cut off? A little cut off. I will just I can see this whole, maybe I can see it and no one else can. Greg, are you saying it's still cut off? Wait, oopsies. What did I just do? Swipe left to close. Okay. I just realized you can make the messages be the whole screen. Good morning, guys. Why am I seeing these things? Hold on 1 second. Oh, X. Got it. Okay, now I can see the chat. I couldn't see the chat. Good morning, guys. Or if you're in Sweden, Von Swede, good evening or afternoon or whatever time it is. We have made it. Can you guys see the E in Felice Navidad Live? Can you guys see it? The end of this? It's not, I think okay, because I have an iPhone, Greg, and I can see it. I think it might just depend. Okay, so some people can see it and some people can't. Okay, so that's good to know, because I'm like, well, when I look at it, I can see it. But I think it just depends. Oh, your messages are suspended. Okay, hold on, Matt. Let me. Why can't I see your ad? Matt, what is your TikTok name for me to message you? Can you put it in the chat? I just screenshotted it. Wait, let me look at for me to message you. Can you put it in the chat? I just screenshotted it. Wait, let me look at what I just. FLA. Here, let me go on my other TikTok account. I'll figure it out. I'm just afraid if I don't do this now, I'm not going to remember. Because you know me. It's. Hold on. Is your account Matt FLA? Let me look. How will I'm not sure what to do about that, because I'm not sure how to get you a Discord link. Or maybe you could invite. Oh, I'm just trying to think how to get you a Discord link if you don't. Do you have Discord, Matt? Maybe you can tell one of the mods your Discord name. Oh wait, let me. Yeah, you're right. Your messaging is at Matt FLA. Do you have Discord, Matt? Maybe you could give one of the mods. Here, let me screenshot this and send it to Chrissy. Give me 1 second, Matt. I'm gonna send this to Chrissy, and then we'll see if the mods can. If you have Discord or an email, I'm not sure. Maybe you can tell them in the. Oh, you do have Discord. What's your Discord handle? Chrissy, I sent you a screenshot of Matt, and he's in the chat. If you could get his Discord handle, and then send him a Discord link that way, because his messaging is blocked. I tried to send him one on Facebook, but yeah, somebody was sending some bad message. I know a lot of people lately whose messaging is blocked. That's never happened. That's the one thing that's never happened to me on TikTok. I've never lost access to to the messaging feature yet. That's the last thing I haven't been banned from on TikTok. I know. I recently talked to a lot of people who've told me they've been banned for messaging. Well, you know who would probably be banned for messaging if they were on? It's Maddie Dukes. Okay. Let me take care of this really quick. Let me screenshot that. And I just got. Here, I'm going to send his name to you, Chrissy, and will you send him a link? Send. Okay, you got it? Okay, she's got it. Sorry, I don't know. I'm micromanaging. I forget that I'm probably the least qualified person to be doing this. We'll figure it out, Maddie. We're going to send it to your Discord, I believe. Okay. It's Friday, guys. We have survived. Last night, so I was just to review, I attended the Arizona watch party for the Oprah Kamala town hall, which I thought was interesting. I feel like Oprah was like, I miss my show, like her talk show. And she was like, I'm about to have the most like intense, like moving talk show episode of all time. Like that's what I felt like. It was an hour and 30-minute Oprah episode, and it was like a roller coaster of emotion. She's like, here's Chris Rock, and then we're all laughing, and then she's like, here's like the saddest story of all time. Like I thought it was absolutely amazing how they highlighted Amber Thurman, but how painful is it? I felt like I was on an emotional roller coaster last night. It's so, yeah. I mean, it needs to be talked about, and that's the thing. And that brings me to some other news really quick. Let me see. So I talked to you guys a little bit, and I'll probably try to mention this again a couple times in the show, but I talked to you guys briefly about Danielle Kramer, who is absolutely amazing. I know. How many times did I cry last night? I think I cried like 4 times last night during the best Oprah episode of all time. Only if we would have gotten cars at the end, then it would have been truly the best episode of all time. Thank you so much for the flower crown. I absolutely love it. Flower crowns, and then that lipstick that writes I love you across people's faces was great. And it was writing I love you across like Oprah's face last night, which was pretty cool. Yeah, there was so much crying. But really quick, I just want to do this announcement, and then I'll go back to the Oprah stuff and my other announcements. I know, absolutely. We got a president. Amen, Toodle. So I have mentioned, and we had a very hard week with ProPublica doing an amazing job and reporting these Georgia Medical Review Board abortion cases that are just now coming to light. They're preventable deaths that, due to the Dobbs decision, led to, unfortunate, untimely unalivings of women. And we talked about Amber Thurman on here, which was absolutely heartbreaking this week. And a second one came out. Her name's Candy Miller. And we didn't go through that one. And that's because if you guys remember Danielle Kramer, she is absolutely amazing. Everyone should follow her on here, and she will be here with us on Tuesday. She travels the world. She's an abortion rights advocate. She is, I believe she's a PhD. I mean, when I say I'm a sapiosexual, I'm attracted to people's brains. I truly think, as far as TikTok, she is the most intelligent person I have ever had the pleasure of meeting from this app. And she's going to spend 3 hours with us on Tuesday. I know. So, and I'm going to make some TikToks and remind you guys, so this will be Tuesday, regular show time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. Her name is, that's what I was going to do. Let me see if I can quickly, just for a second. I believe I took a screenshot of her profile. Let me see if I can put that up really quick, because it will be, if everyone should follow her. That's what we add. Here, let me find her. She's right here. Her name is In Bed with Danielle. I mean, trust me, Tuesday is going to be one. If you've never had the pleasure of seeing, she travels the world. She's a sex therapist, sexologist, but PhD. She specifically is a abortion advocate specialist. She travels all over the world and is paid to speak. Obviously, we cannot pay her, and she's going to give us 3 hours of her time for free. If you do not follow her, I highly suggest following her. I'm telling you, and I can't pay a higher compliment than say this is the most intelligent person I've ever heard speak on TikTok. Like, so she's absolutely amazing. So she's going to be with us on Tuesday. We're going to go through the cases and things of that nature. So it will be the two, specifically the ProPublica stuff. Both cases, because that's what I was going to say. Let me switch back real quick now that again, it's In Bed with Danielle. So that's a pretty easy thing. I think everyone should follow her. If they don't, we don't have enough people around doing what she does, like truly. And the fact she's willing to do this, on TikTok for free is a blessing to all of us. Like, I just can't express it enough. Okay. Good. I did all that. See, look at me. Look at me putting up backgrounds and not panicking. Okay. So, and we will have her on Tuesday, regular time for 3 hours. So, and we'll get to do questions and all of that, which will be amazing. So, look forward to that. If you have questions, if you have people that you want to invite, if thank you for subscribing, guys. Yeah, I'll keep reminding you guys, but it's a really good opportunity if you're trying to talk to someone in your life about abortion rights that are struggling. I would invite them, daughters, friends, other women, men who need to be educated on the subject. Like, it's just, you can't hear her. You just can't hear it enough times. Like, you will learn so much from her. She's absolutely amazing. So back to the Oprah thing. So last night I was at the Arizona Democratic Watch Party for the Oprah Kamala town hall, which was amazing. And I think Kamala is, this week, since the ProPublica stuff has come out about Amber Thurman, she is the only person in politics I think I've really heard mention it. And that's disturbing. And Danielle and I were talking about that yesterday. Why is no one else mentioning this? I feel like it's not being covered for how serious of an issue it is. It's not being covered. So I thought it was, emotional. We were on an emotional roller coaster with Oprah last night, but thank God they covered it. It's so important. I also heard that today Kamala's doing an event in Georgia, and she's I think primarily going to focus on Amber Thurman. So that's amazing too. So at least Kamala, this is what I was trying to say when Kamala became the candidate and people were like, I don't know anything about her, what she's done. What has she done? She was touring the country for a year, fighting for women's reproductive rights. Like, she's extremely passionate about it. So I think that was the best part of the Oprah thing. That, and we finally talked about the mass tragedies in schools. That the victim that came, who had been shot twice, and her mother, that is seared. Yeah, I'm talking about politicians, not about if the news is reporting about it. I'm just not really hearing politicians talking about it as much as I want to. But yeah, MSNBC does well covering liberal issues, but again, we don't need to convince people watching MSNBC that it's an issue. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I love MSNBC, but like, that's not where we need people to be talking about it. But yeah, and the reason she went into the system was because I'm not sure exactly who we're talking about, but okay, sorry, I was reading a comment. But anyways, yeah, so the Oprah thing, we also talked about mass tragedies, and I thought that was super special. The event was amazing. The best news from that event is I put this in the Discord last night. Again, if you want a link to the Discord, message at Felice Navidad Live and we will get you a link to the Discord. If you're a subscriber and you want to be added to our email list, we're going to start sending out emails. We'll send out the outline every morning. Also email or message at Felice Navidad with a screenshot of your subscription, and we will get you and your email address, and we'll add you to our email list because that is very important. So yeah, but after the event, the good news is two women asked to speak to me from the Democratic Party and said they appreciate my hard work and dedication, and there's going to be more political events coming up, bigger ones and opportunities, and they like what I do. So hopefully there's going to be some opportunities to interview politicians and go to more interesting events in the future. And the best part is we all get to go together. So I appreciate your guys' support so much, and I had so much fun with you guys last night. Yeah, and the other news is I talked to them and they're working with their legal to get us, I don't know exactly how this will work, but legal rights to stream their events so that, and we can get that to TikTok legal so that, they won't be limited streams. So that's also being worked on. So fingers crossed in the future. I know it was in the middle of the night for you in Sweden, but yeah, it was pretty, you can watch it back. It's very emotional and it was a star-studded event, and I'm glad we got to attend it together. And the other great news from you, I don't know if it's great news, and I also, after thinking about it a lot, I don't know if it's in any way surprising. Like, Mark Robinson, this is not shocking, right? We all know who Mark Robinson was, just based on the comments he was making in public, right? We know who he was. I always say this, I think I said this yesterday on the live. I always think about this when you listen to people on TikTok. What somebody will say in a live when hundreds of people are watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you, Sully. You're the best. What people live, that is the tip of the iceberg, right? What people will say while preaching in front of his congregation. Some people just need some killing. Does anyone remember when Mark Robinson said that? And that was just the Sunday sermon. So whatever someone will say in public when people are watching, listening, recording, and that's the tip of the iceberg from who they really are. I always used to think about that as a child because that's how it was with my family. Whatever you see in public, what's going on behind closed doors. So yeah, am I surprised by who Mark Robinson is? No. And this is also the Republican Party reaping the rewards of their strategy, right? Donald Trump surrounds himself with sycophants, and particularly essayers, right? Has anyone ever noticed that you have an allegation against you? You're, on the left, you get held accountable. On the right, they're like, oh, come on over here. Everything's cool. Oh, you got accused of doing something awful? You were accused of committing a crime? Me too. Cool. And then they bond over their shared history of that, right? Did nobody vet Mark Robinson? When you look at the allegations here, or what it is, the comments and stuff, this stuff is not easy to. This is all in the public domain. This is a man who is the Republican candidate for governor in North Carolina. And all of these things, this is not something CNN had to go get from someone else, or it's not an expose where someone's like, oh, I hate him, so I'm revealing our old text messages. This is stuff that is just living on the internet for anyone to find. Oh yeah, no, I know. That was in yesterday's, and we're going to get to that because I didn't cover it, but I don't know there's always stuff in the outline I don't cover, but ProPublica did another article about Judge Cannon, and how they ProPublica are also the people that won a Pulitzer for the Clarence Thomas reporting and the trips he took and what's been going on. And something similar, not to the magnitude, don't get me wrong, I'm not implying A-League candidate is Clarence Thomas. But yeah, she didn't report some things, and I think we'll go over that. We'll go over that on Monday. I have a couple ProPublica articles I want to touch on Monday. I'm just a little tired from doing 2 lives yesterday, so I don't think we're going to get in the technical nitty gritty. Plus, there's other interesting things I want to go over today. I want to go over some of this Mark Robinson stuff. Guys, tap the screen. Let's all share the live with some Republicans right now, because they are certainly more than welcome. Where's Dale and Hoodie? Dale and Hoodie watched Oprah with us last night. I do not know what is up with those two or why they want to hang out with us so much, but Dale and Hoodie watched most of Oprah Live with us last night. So they can share their feelings on that. But more importantly, if any Republicans want to talk to us about Mark Robinson, I'm very interested to hear from some Republicans about how they feel about this. Will this be a time where Republicans will hold somebody accountable? Or will this be a time where we explain it away? I'm very interested, because this is something Republicans are very uncomfortable with. I was saying this to Benny this morning. Just as someone who is part of the LGBTQIA, I always find that the people who are yelling the loudest, who are most disturbed by the LGBTQIA, this is usually what comes out in the end. They hate themselves, right? They're upset that they have some sort of same-sex attraction or, something that they feel is wrong inside them, and they project that outward onto the rest of us. That's it. Like, the people who are the most hateful, I guarantee you, because it's just like, why? You know what I mean? If this has nothing to do with you, you're certainly screaming like it's personal. It's, it isn't that always the way. So I'm on the first article in the outline, because this story, the Mark Robinson story, was broke by CNN. So let's give CNN the credit they deserve. They don't do a lot of expose articles and things. So kudos to CNN. I was a little surprised it was them, especially because they have such a friendly relationship with Trump. I'm surprised they didn't help him bury it. It's titled, "I'm a Black Schmotzy." NC GOP nominee for governor made dozens of disturbing comments on Corn Forum. Oh, it's like when the chickens come home to roost. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be right. You don't want to be right, but when you are, you are. So the comments which Robinson denies making predate his entry into politics and current stint as North Carolina's lieutenant governor. But this guy, keep in mind, this guy is a preacher, right? All the videos I have seen of him that predate his time as lieutenant governor are him behind a pulpit spewing LGBTQIA hate. So I guess simultaneously, while he's been preaching that the LGBTQIA, are all going to burn in hell, I guess he also is busy on this site called Nude Africa. They were, and that's the other thing about older generations and the internet. Oh, not smart. Not smart. Just using the same names, the same, he didn't even try to hide who he was. So anyways, so they were made between 2008 and 2012. So this is not and the reason I'm saying that is because, just to be clear, this guy is not oh, I was on there one time. Has anyone else dedicated 4 years of their life to a particular forum on a corn site? We all, watch corn from time to time. That's some dedication. I didn't know there were forums in which you could chat with other users on these sites. I wasn't even aware of that until Mark Robinson has now made me aware. I thought we were all just watching some short clips. These comments were made under the name Minnie Solder, a moniker Robinson used frequently online, in his real life for other things. Robinson listed his full name on his profile. You can't write this stuff, people. Republicans are not smart. They are not smart. Maybe we should start doing our own investigations into the most hateful, because we could have probably found this before CNN, as well as an email address he used on numerous websites across the internet for decades. That's what I'm saying. That's why this is undeniable. And I love how he's like, oh, the internet and AI can do some strange things. Not this, Mark Robinson, not this. And the best part is they're only reporting a small portion of Robinson's comments, right? Because they're like, the rest is too disgusting. We can't show you those. And I suggest everyone, again, this is the first article in the outline. Keep tapping the screen, guys. If you're a Republican, please come up and share with us if you will or will not be voting for Mark Robinson after this, because I am very curious. Many of Robinson's comments, though, on Nude Africa do have to like stand in contrast, right, to his public persona. This man's a preacher who is the most anti-LGBTQIA, anti-woman, anti-sex positive, right? Like the exact opposite of what he's doing on this site, and and also his public stances on abortion, and specifically, and the most disturbing of his stuff is his position on transgender rights. He's fiercely argued that people should use bathrooms only that correspond to the gender they were assigned at birth. He also said transgender women should be arrested for using women's restrooms. Remember, so here's the comment, quote, if you're a man on Friday night, thank you so much, guys. Keep tapping the screen. If you're a man on Friday night and all of a sudden Saturday, you feel like a woman and you want to go in the women's bathroom in the mall, you will be arrested or whatever we gotta do to you. Robinson said, I remember when he said this at a campaign rally in February 2024. We're going to protect our women. Yet privately, under the username Minnie Solder on Nude Africa, Robinson graphically described, and I'm going to really stick on this point, like, because the hypocrisy, isn't this always the way with Republicans? They're always talking about protecting women and children, and why does it always turn out the people that need, that these women and children need to be protected from are the men in the Republican Party, are the pastors affiliated with the Republican Party. It's always the pastors. Remember the guy who was on Trump's preacher council the last time he was president in Dallas? And it just recently came to light that, he, had relations, or actually I think everything but relations, with a 13-year-old. And he's part of one of those super churches in Dallas. And they have hundreds of thousands of members. Yeah, and he has and on his Instagram is literally a picture of every member in the Republican Party. Yeah, I remember that too. It's so weird. Or Matt Schlapp, the man who heads up CPAC, Trump's best friend, who is known, I guess, for, assaulting men that work for him, younger aides in the Republican Party, and is being sued for it. And Trump's like, oh, that's great. Oh, you've been falsely accused of something? Come over here. They're always talking about protecting women and children from the LGBTQIA. And yet, what was Mark Robinson talking about on this site? Let's see. Yet privately, under the username Minnie Solder on Nude Africa, Robinson graphically described his own sexual arousal as an adult from the memory of secretly peeping on women in public gym showers. As a 14-year-old, Robinson recounted the story as a memory he said he still fantasized about. I came to a spot that was a dead end, but had two big vent covers over it. It just so happened it overlooked the showers. I sat there for about an hour and watched as several girls came in and showered, Robinson wrote on Nude Africa. And then CNN had to write again that they're not going to publish the rest of the details of this story because it's too vile and disgusting. Again, this is a Republican preacher who Donald Trump called the Martin Luther King Jr. of our time and said he was brilliant. Is this something Martin Luther King Jr. was doing? Crawling around, peeping on women in showers? And I just want to say again, this is the Mark Robinson that said he needs to jail people in the LGBTQIA to keep women and children safe. Is he going to put himself in jail? That's what I'm curious about. Like, what level of accountability? And where is Dale and Hoodie? I'm just curious. Are we going to hold him accountable? Are we going to hold Mark Robinson accountable? Or are you guys going to explain this away too? Because it looks like you guys are going to explain it. It looks like we're at explain it away. So I am very curious for a Republican to somehow justify this. Take me through the cognitive dissonance of this, because you guys want to protect women and children. We've got a person who's predating, right? Viewing people in showers against their will, unbeknownst to them, and then on a pornographic site reliving it with random people. That's the would-be Republican governor of California. Or is anybody going to hold him accountable? Just saying. In other comments on Nude Africa, Robinson discussed his affinity, not his disgust. Now, what was that? Affinity? Does everyone remind me what affinity means? Doesn't that mean that that's your preference and you love it? His affinity for transgender pornography. And I have said before any of this came out, if you reach a certain level of spewing hate against the LGBTQIA, that is because you hate yourself for some reason. You're dealing with something internal. Because otherwise, why are you so emotionally connected to it? Yeah, it's projection. Freud would have had this guy's number for sure. It's complete projection. So this man is on the internet for 4 years in these chat forums expressing his arousal and affinity for specifically transgender pornography. This man is a preacher in North Carolina, a self-described black schmatzi whose goal in life is to protect women and children from the transgender community. I wish I could say any of this was shocking. So, trigger warning for anyone who doesn't want to hear this, plug your ears. Or quote, I can't even say this. Anyways, I'm just going to say it in my own way that's less disgusting, because he's absolutely disgusting. I like watching transgender on girl porn. That's so effing hot, it takes the man out while leaving the man in. I just want everyone, and yeah, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot the last part of the quote. And yeah, I'm a perv too. This is Trump's guy. I'm just saying, this is Donald Trump's man. This is the man that Donald Trump said is the Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, I'm going to relentlessly point out today, this is a man making it unsafe for the LGBTQIA to exist in America. Spewing hate and making it so children are afraid to leave their homes, don't want to attend school, cannot be part of a community, cannot self-actualize. that's what happened to me. I have a real problem specifically with the Christian right who force children who are just trying to self-actualize to hate themselves or to think something is wrong with themselves. And that's what Mark Robinson has done. A person who knows full well that he's attracted, and his orientation is towards his sexual orientation is towards the transgender community. And instead of just being honest about it and being honest about who he is and self-actualizing, he is making it unsafe for the community to exist in America because he hates himself. Anyway, I mean, it's just, and then he has the nerve to do an interview. Like, what is that about? Here's the quote. "This is not us." So also, I just want to point out the narcissism of what he's doing. He's using the royal we. Do you know what the royal we is? That's like what the Pope uses. This is not us. You refer to yourself as like me and God. This is something they used to do, in like the Renaissance times. The narcissism of using the royal we when you're being accused, and the subject matter is this, just shows everything we need to know about him. He's a complete narcissist. This is not us. These are not our words. And this is not anything that is characteristic of me, Robinson said. Presented with the litany of evidence connecting him with Minnie Solder, which there is. I suggest everyone look at this CNN article personally, because they have a lot of the evidence in there. I mean, it is absolutely him. Presented with the litany of evidence connecting him. And if it wasn't, then file a lawsuit, prove it, right? If it's real defamation, if CNN's defaming you, I'm sure you can prove it. Presented with a litany of evidence connecting him with Minnie Solder, the Minnie Solder username on Nude Africa, Robinson said, "I'm not going to get into the minutia of how somebody manufactured this." Oh, you're not? Because you... Yeah, I wouldn't either if I was you. These salacious tabloid lies. CNN first reached out to Robinson on Tuesday morning. So, right, it's Friday. We heard about this Thursday, so he's known since Tuesday morning. He must have had a bad 48 hours. Tuesday morning with evidence connecting him to the comments. It took his campaign 2 days to respond. So he didn't respond to them for 2 days. So he was like shitting his pants and issue a denial. So he at first, So during his interview with CNN, Robinson repeatedly said the issues that faced North Carolinians were more important than what he called tabloid trash. And he steered the conversation toward attacking his opponent in the race, Democrat Josh Stein, who has a double-digit lead. Don't worry about Josh Stein right now, Mark. You're drowning. "We are not getting out of this race. These are people who are counting on us to win this race. I don't think anybody is counting on you anymore for anything, Mark." And I just want to go through some of the stuff he said, because we touch on it a lot. I've covered Mark Robinson a lot. I've been horrified with him for a while and suspected that he was part of the LGBTQIA. And hated himself. That's honestly what I always thought. So campaigning for lieutenant governor in 2020, Robinson advocated for a complete abortion ban without exceptions. He later expressed regret in 2022. Yeah, he said there's no exceptions, right? No exceptions, even though the exceptions mean nothing anyways and are purposely vague. He doesn't even want them. He later expressed regret in 2022 for paying for his now wife to have an abortion in the 1980s. So again, this is a, what's his name? This is a Herschel Walker situation, say that abortion is absolutely wrong and that it starts coming out that you yourself have funded and encouraged people to have them. That's what happened to him. So now campaigning for governor, he says he supports a so-called heartbeat bill that would ban abortion when a heartbeat is detected. approximately 6 weeks, with exceptions for grape, incest, and health of the mother. But writing as Minnie Solder, isn't this weird, at Nude Africa in December 2010, Robinson said he did not care about a celebrity having an abortion. Quote, "I don't care, I just want to see the sex tape," Robinson wrote. What a classy guy. What a classy guy we have here. In another thread, and I just want to actually, let me say this too, because this is the reason I bring up Herschel Walker is this is all an indictment of Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump, I have been long disgusted by this, and the Republican Party. I'm not going to just attribute this to Donald Trump because I think it's a disease that the Republican Party has. Sees black people as a monolith. They are all the same. Remember how I was making the point how absolutely ludicrous it was? Oh my gosh, now I can't remember his name. That they literally thought that Herschel Walker could run for Senate again. What's his name? The Reverend, what's the senator from Georgia's name? It's slipping my mind right now. What's the senator from Georgia's name? That, Warnock, yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I cannot say Warlock. Okay, yes, thank you, Raphael Warnock. Yeah, so imagine how insulting it is to Raphael Warnock, who is one of the most intelligent, eloquent, poised, truly inspiring individuals that has ever been in politics, and them to say, okay, the Democrats they have a black guy running for Senate, so we just need another black guy. Like, that's how they see it. It doesn't matter. We'll just put up our own black man. Doesn't matter if he's qualified. Doesn't matter if he abuses women. Doesn't matter if he's a liar. Doesn't matter if he's had so many concussions he doesn't know where he's at. Right? None of that matters, because in Republicans' minds, it's just, oh, they have a black man running. It couldn't be that this black man is uniquely qualified and, as a matter of fact, absolutely amazing, right? They're just like, now we just need another black man. It's the absolute insult to the black community. And that's why you heard Donald Trump never vet Mark Robinson, never really know who he was, and call him the Martin Luther King, and compare him to Martin Luther King Jr., right? Because in Trump's mind, they're the same. He just sees two black men, not Martin Luther King Jr., brilliant socialist, activist, civil rights leader who moved heaven and earth, right? Who has inspired generations of people and dragged us out of the darkness, right? Oh, sorry, let me do reset gift goals because I'm working on learning how to do that. Wait, I'll do it in a second when it pops. I did it. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yeah, so that's my point. There's no difference to Donald Trump. He's just like, okay, well, I see two black men. They're all a monolith to him. Mark Robinson is the same, apparently, as Martin Luther King Jr. That comes out of Trump's own mouth because he doesn't care to investigate any further. He does not understand that black people aren't all the same, right? That they're not a monolith. And that's what's truly offensive and why Donald Trump is in this situation now. Like, that is the most disturbing part about it. So in another thread, commenters considered whether to believe the story of a woman who said she was raped by her taxi driver while intoxicated. In response, Mark Robinson wrote, "And the moral of this story is, don't F a white bee." This is the man who said, that women should not be allowed to vote. This is Mark Robinson, who Trump again says is Martin Luther King Jr. This does not sound like Martin Luther King Jr. to me, right? You could be absolutely inept and not know how to use the internet and do one Google search and recognize that Mark Robinson is the farthest thing from Martin Luther King Jr., that Herschel Walker is the farthest thing from Raphael Warnock. But in Trump's mind, in the Republican Party's mind, they're all the same. That, right? That is unconscious, like unconscious bias. That is what it is. It cannot even occur to them that there's a difference. Robinson, who would become North Carolina's first black governor if elected, also repeatedly, and here's the other irony. Trump is saying this is the Martin Luther King Jr. of our time or whatever. And Robinson repeatedly maligns Martin Luther King Jr., attacking him in such intense terms that a user accused him on this site, right? Imagine we're on a corn forum where people probably are being a little weird, and people are calling out him as the weird one and a white supremacist. Quote, "Get that effing commie bastard off the National Mall," Robinson wrote about the dedication of the memorial to King in Washington, D.C. by then President Barack Obama. He's mad about the memorial. And people are accusing him of being a white supremacist on this Nude Africa site. And he's saying, I'm not in the Triple K. They don't let blacks join. If I was in the Triple K, I would call him, I can't say it. I cannot say it. It's too bad. But again, this was all in the public domain. This is publicly available situation. I mean, Trump doesn't probably want to do Oppo research, right? Trump doesn't want it done on him, so he's not doing it on other people. I mean, it's mind-boggling that we're here now. CNN's reporting on Robinson's comments comes a few weeks after the Assembly, a North Carolina digital publication, which I never even talked about this, reported that Robinson frequented local people in North Carolina, said that he frequented, this is before my time, but like local video, you know when like people rented videos, local video, like pornography shops in the 1990s and the 2000s. And there's people swearing, like 6 people who interacted and saw him frequent the stores in Greensboro, North Carolina. And a spokesperson for Robinson called the story false and complete fiction. It is. Keep tapping the screen, guys. I do rely on your tips and donations to keep my research going. If you would like to donate, leave a question, comment, concern, dad joke, love a dad joke, F, Mary Banish, and I will read them aloud throughout the show. If you would like a Discord link, message at Felice Navidad Live. If the E is cut off for you, it's live. Felice Navidad Live. We're gonna get a new background that fixes that, so don't worry about that. Let's see here. Robinson's history of controversial remarks. They're mainly directed at women and the LGBTQIA, but it's not limited to just that, right? He mocks mass tragedy survivors, children that have survived mass tragedies. His past support for total abortion bans without exceptions for rape and incest, disparaging the civil rights movement, and particularly Martin Luther King Jr., right? He's losing in double digits to Stein. Oh my God. Yeah. And they included a lot of screenshots in here, again, that I'm not going to read, but I suggest everyone just look through this. And in a post in 2012, he said he served in the Army in the 1980s during the same time period as Robinson. Like there's a whole section and they have screenshots showing you how they can line up that this is him. And believe me, CNN would never publish. Can you imagine if they weren't sure this was him and they published this right before an election? The amount of money CNN would have to pay in defamation. But again, this is not anyone's fault but the Republican Party, Donald Trump, and Mark Robinson. I find this all very mind blowing. And now I think we should. And I put together. You know me. I put together. Oh, the goal. Someone's. Let me. Sorry, I need to set. Sorry, I didn't. I guess I didn't push the gift goal. 1 second, guys. Okay, got it. I did it. Okay, so I want to go through a couple clips of Mark Robinson. Well, first, let me play the audio of Gross Mark Robinson. So this guy posted a video prior, so CNN contacted him Tuesday. They never heard back until Thursday. He issues a denial, or his team issues a denial, I guess, Thursday morning. And then this video, which I didn't put it in the outline. If you want it, it's on X. It's on his social media profile, because I found it after we had already put the outline in the Discord. But this is the video of Mark Robinson, that before the story came out. I guess he preemptively wanted to get ahead of the story, and this is what his words are.
Hey guys, Lieutenant Governor Robinson and your Republican nominee for governor as well, of course. Well, guys, the news media is at it again. My opponent is at it again. You all have seen the half-truths and outright lies of Josh Stein on these ads over and over again. And now a story leaked by him to CNN is appearing now. Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story, those are not the words of Mark Robinson. You know my words, you know my character, and you know that I have been completely transparent in this race and before. Folks, this race right now, our opponents are desperate to shift the focus here from the substantive issues and focus on what you are concerned with to salacious tabloid trash. We cannot allow that to happen. And folks, we've seen this type of stuff in the past as well. Clarence Thomas famously once said he was the victim of a high-tech lynching. Well, it looks like Mark Robinson is too, by a man who refuses to stand on stage and debate me about the real issues that face you. Instead, they want to focus on salacious tabloid lies. We're not going to let them do that. We are staying in this race. We are in it to win it. And we know that with your help, we will. God bless you, and we will see you where? On the campaign trail.
God bless you. I can't. Well, first of all, I don't know if you guys caught it, but the best part of this video is when he literally cites Clarence Thomas. Like, please do bring up creepy Clarence Thomas, because that's fair. That's the only, he got that analogy right. Do compare yourself to Clarence Thomas. That's the only thing that makes any sense. Like, oh, Clarence. He said virtual, I don't even know what he said, but yeah, I do think the only thing he got right there was saying that he's Clarence Thomas. Oh, sorry, I need to mute myself. Let me just add my backup really quick. And I'm going to show you some videos of Mark Robinson. Oh, I bet Trump is having the worst day ever. Okay, and so this is in this section. Let me pull it up in the outline. So there's just a I can't remember what, I call it's the section in the outline is called Trump Loves Mark Robinson. Because when I was looking at things on the internet last night, that is the truth. Birds of a feather always flock together, and these two are they belong together. Okay, so when Robinson, this is Trump talking about Mark Robinson.
But I said to this man, and when he endorsed me, he gave a speech, and I said, "You are Dr. Martin Luther King on steroids. That's how good you are. You are unbelievable." as a speaker, and he's doing fantastically well in North Carolina, and I think he's going to be the next governor of North Carolina. Mark Robinson.
Oh, I bet Trump wishes the internet wasn't so forever. Because that's what we need to be doing. I just want to be clear. Like, when we're in lives, when we're in debate, when we're talking to our MAGA family members, we need to relentlessly remind people. And again, there's a whole section of clips and other types of information that you can use to relentlessly tie Mark Robinson to Donald Trump. Many people in the Republican Party did not want Mark Robinson to run for governor. Right? Many people didn't. This is Trump's guy. Trump made this decision. Mark Robinson is in the position he is in because of Donald Trump. And we should never let Donald Trump detach himself from Mark Robinson, not for 1 second. Now, here's Mark Robinson. He has something to tell you guys.
I don't care how hard you try. The transgender movement in this country, if there's a movement in this country that is demonic and that is full of the spirit of Antichrist, it is the transgender movement.
Said the guy, said the giant hypocrite. Like, are you kidding me? So imagine this man outwardly, his public life is spewing hate against the LGBTQIA, specifically the transgender community. And he is on corn websites expressing how attracted and how his sexual orientation is in fact to the transgender community. If there's one thing, and there's documentaries on this, there was I don't remember the name, and I think it was made a long while ago, but it was made by, I believe, like some gay men in DC who were kind of having a debate with themselves. And I'm not going to weigh in on the debate because I don't know, but it's this debate about how many men there are in the Republican Party who are voting against the rights of the LGBTQIA, but are known to frequent gay clubs and gay bars in DC, and whether or not they should be outed. Like, who are publicly doing harm, saying that the LGBTQIA should not exist, who are lifetime politicians in DC, who are, known in the community otherwise, right? And I covered it, and I think other people covered it, but during the RNC in Milwaukee, Grindr broke. It literally had outages because the Republican Party is in Milwaukee and there is an extreme amount of people, too many people, trying to access Grindr for gay hookups. You know who did make videos about that? George Santos. And they were funny.
Mark Robinson, he's out there, he's fighting. A very good man. This is Martin Luther King on steroids. I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2. I think he's going to go down as one of the great leaders in our country. I've been with him a lot. I've gotten to know him, and he's outstanding. He's outstanding in presentation, but he's probably even more outstanding in heart. Somebody that we have to be very, very careful. We have to cherish. We have to cherish Mark. He's a star. You have to cherish him. Amen. It's like a fine wine, because that's what you have. You have a fine wine. He's an outstanding person. I've gotten to know him so well and fairly quickly.
I've gotten to know him so well and fairly quickly. Let's never let Trump live those words down. This is Trump's guy. This is Trump's guy. And Trump is a narcissist who doesn't get to know anyone. And maybe he should start. Maybe he should take some time to not just ramble incoherently and actually get to know people. Now, this is from the CNN exclusive report that they aired yesterday.
How do you explain all of the matching details on this profile? The profile on Nude Africa lists your full name as Mark Robinson. The email listed on an account is an email that you have used elsewhere on the internet, including with your photo. You have used that name, Mini Soldier, on multiple social media accounts, including Twitter, Pinterest, Black Planet, and YouTube. How can you deny, with all of these matching details, that this is you?
Look, I'm not going to get into the minutia of how somebody manufactured these salacious tabloid lies, but I can tell you this: there's been over $1 million spent on me through AI by a billionaire son who's bound and determined to destroy me. The things that people can do with the internet now is incredible. But what I can tell you is this: again, these are not my words. This is simply tabloid trash being used as a distraction from the substantive issues that the people of this state are facing. We have addressed it. We have said it's not true, and we wish we could move on and get busy with the business of the people of the state.
I don't think it's going to go that way, Mark, but whatever.
Rumors that some of your campaign staff have quit. Can you tell us if that's true or not?
Absolutely not, and we are not getting that.
That some of your campaign staff have quit. Can you tell us if that's true or not?
Absolutely not, and we are not getting out of this race. There are people who are counting on us to win this race because, again, we don't want to. Absolutely not, and we are not getting out of this race. There are people who are counting on us to win this race because, again, we don't want a governor who's going to be a person that can't be counted on to tell the truth. And
we don't want a governor who can't be counted on to tell the truth. How is it possible that he could even say that with a straight face? I'm so very confused by his ability. I mean, the psychology of this man. Now, here's just, let's never let Trump forget. I think I would have just posted these on my, I'm going to post these on my profile later. Oh, there they are. Two happy guys. So cute. Oh, the happy couple. Oh, and I found these. So this is actually funny. Someone posted these and wrote quotes from the art, or quotes not from CNN's article, but from what he wrote on that site, and then put these pictures of him next to it. I came to a spot that was a dead end, but had two big vent covers over it. It just so happened it overlooked the showers. I sat there for about an hour and watched as several girls came in and showered. This is the Republican candidate for governor who said that the transgender community aren't allowed to self-actualize and use public restrooms. Meanwhile, this man is actually someone who should be allowed nowhere near public restrooms. This is the guy that we should all be worried about. You want to save kids? Save them from Mark Robinson. Sorry, I'm just not going to read this out loud. But again, all of these are in the outlines if you want to use them. However, the links to these are there. I read that once. I'm just not going to read it again. This is the quote about Martin Luther King. Again, I just can't stomach to read these again, but I just liked how this person put them together. The juxtaposition of him, walking out at RNC events and GOP events, and his disgusting words. This is the Republican Party now. And again, I'm very curious to hear from a Republican how they feel about this. Are you guys going to hold him accountable, or are you guys going to pretend that this never happened? I am very curious to see how the Republican Party is going to deal with this. And this is, let me back up. Let me get a little further back. So this is from Ron Filipkowski, and he said, this is the truth, because I was looking around on X last night before I fell asleep for a while. You will note that none of Mark Robinson's allies are stepping up today after these latest revelations to say that they sound completely out of character for him, because they sound exactly like what he would do. That's truer words were never spoken. People aren't defending him and don't know what to do. Because, like I said, the tip of the iceberg, the vile comments we already knew about, right, are unacceptable and disgusting. But yeah, that was the tip of the iceberg. That's what he would say while he was pretending to be a godly man, preaching to his flock on Sundays, talking about some people need some killing, right? And now they're seeing how much worse it really gets as we get towards the bottom of the iceberg, and they want no part of it. This was JD Vance's team yesterday on Capitol Hill running away from reporters while they're trying to ask him about it.
Hi, Senator Vance. Do you have any reaction to Mark Robinson news? Senator Vance?
Literally running as fast as we can. I didn't go through, obviously I'm on live and haven't gone through keep tapping the screen, guys. We're almost to 100K. I haven't gone through the news. I don't know if Trump has made a public statement. I'm not sure what the next move will be. This is a tightrope walk. Talk about bringing in a PR crisis manager. I don't know what the right move even is. This is very upsetting. So Virginia Fox, do you remember Virginia Fox is that very miserable representative from North Carolina? She's the one I was showing you the chaos yesterday on the House floor. And Sean Casten was just talking in general about the Republican Party, and she got super angry and was like, strike that for the record. And then they had to explain to her that no one's talking about her, even though he was just talking about general bigotry. But Freudian slip, she's sure he's talking about her, that Virginia Fox. So North Carolina GOP rep, because it's very funny that Mark Robinson is from her state, said she hasn't really followed him closely when asked about the latest Mark Robinson news. This is Virginia Fox, we must destroy the LGBTQIA and the woke mind virus, Virginia Fox, saying she hasn't followed Mark Robinson closely. Well, what's that? What's that, Virginia? A meet and greet with Lieutenant Governor candidate Mark Robinson and Congresswoman Virginia Fox. It seems like you have supported him and known him in the past, but you guys are from the same state, but now you haven't followed him closely. That's interesting. The internet is forever, Virginia. And this is our leftist angel, Jessica Tarlov. I love her. On the 5 yesterday.
And what's a really interesting state in there? North Carolina, which is a big target for the Democrats. And we just found out an hour ago that the lieutenant governor there, Mark Robinson, who's running for governor,
never heard of him,
Luther King on steroids, posted on a porn forum called Nude Africa that he's a black Nazi, expressed support for reinstating slavery, and detailed his sexual arousal from memories of peeping on women in public gyms, and he still fantasizes about it. He also has an Ashley Madison account.
How dare you kink shame?
Sure. That's a great reaction. So Josh Stein was likely to win that race.
And I just can't let that go because it's too vile. So I just want to be clear about what just happened there. Gray Gross Gutfeld, right? She's talking about, that's assault. It's not a kink to, unbeknownst to women, view them, showering. And you know what I'm saying? That's not a kink. That's not acceptable. It's actually a crime, is what that is.
Anyway, if they get Mark Robinson to drop out, his name is still on the ballot. But this makes North Carolina even more in play for Democrats. And this, again, is evidence of the type of candidates that Donald Trump thinks are good for the country. Martin Luther King on steroids, someone who says he's a black Nazi.
But he would obviously. Let's take the obvious here.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump actually knew this guy was on porn sites?
My point is that Donald Trump likes anyone who likes him, and he doesn't bother to
That's
do the
called being
work.
human.
No, it's not. A lot of people like me who I don't like in return.
Like who?
I don't
Tell
want
us
to. I don't
now.
want to name names.
Go ahead. Let's start with Fox and Friends.
Yeah. Or kill
All right,
me.
Jessica. Yeah.
RHF.
I didn't interrupt. I just want to let that be known.
It was
Greg
so
interrupted
corrupt
on
you
my
couldn't
behalf.
take it. The king shaming was kind of funny. And
I
I'm
will be
not.
going to New Africa in the break to see if that's true.
So again, like I just want to show the mood, right? This is someone who's been putting the LGBTQIA in danger, is inciting hate. Now remember what the Republicans have spent this week doing. They've spent the week accusing Democrats of inciting hate against Donald Trump and saying it is our fault, right? I'm not going to call it an attempt, right? What Mark Ruth, I don't know if that's an attempt if you never even did anything, but they're blaming us, saying that our rhetoric is inciting hate. Nobody has incited more hate than Donald Trump and Mark Robinson, right? This is direct hypocrisy. And I think Kamala said this when she was talking to the National Association of Black Journalists, and I love it. And I think we need to frame it this way, right? The Republicans have spent this week accusing us of making Donald Trump unsafe. He is a hard target, right? This man has more Secret Service protection than any non-president in the history of the United States. They're about to have a congressional hearing to get even more protection from him and more of our tax dollars protecting him, right? But do children in schools have Secret Service protection? Does the transgender community who's afraid to leave their homes, who are being unalived in hate crimes, do they have Secret Service protection? Does anybody stop stoking hate against them ever? Or is it relentlessly being stoked? Is hate relentlessly being stoked against women for wanting bodily autonomy? No one is protecting children in schools. No one's saying, hey, we need to have a hearing to use our tax dollars to protect women in school or children in schools. No one's saying, hey, because of the constant 24 hours a day hate the Republican Party is stoking against the transgender community, we need to protect them. I don't really want any more of my tax dollars going to protecting people. I don't think we're protecting the right people. That's my question, is why wouldn't we start with children? Transgender children in schools. Remember Next Benedict? Remember? Does anyone remember? No longer with us. These are soft targets who have no protection, and I had to listen all week. And every time there's a tragedy and more people die, right? Thoughts and prayers from the Republicans, but I had to spend all week listening from the people that spew violent, hateful rhetoric every single day. And then they find out, hey, about the Mark Robinson situation and laugh that he's viewing women showering or children showering against their wills. Something is wrong here. Like, the line of logic has collapsed. Don't ask me to have sympathy for Donald Trump. The Republican Party has sympathy for no one. I think we should start with protecting transgender children in schools. That's where we should be starting. And this, I just think I found this on X, and I don't, just listen to this.
Stay strong, brother. Don't let them push you out. Don't let them high-tech lynch your ass. They knew they signed up for crazy. They knew they signed up for crazy when you were selected as the nominee for lieutenant governor and your ass wasn't qualified. When you won the nomination for the gubernatorial race and your ass wasn't qualified. The only qualifications that Mark Robinson has ever brought to the table is being crazy, deranged, anti-black, self-hating Negro. That's the only reason why he's sitting where he is now. So guess what? North Carolina GOP, Donald Trump, y'all made the bed. He did shit all over it, pissed all over it, and all kind of stuff, but you still gotta sleep in it. So stay strong. Stay strong. Don't let him push you out. You earned your spot with your crazy ass. You sat up here, buck danced for them, acted like a buffoon, said all the crazy racist shit. You said you were black Nazi. That's what they knew they were getting with you from the get. Just because now it's written on paper from a message board, now it's a problem. Nah, don't let them be hypocritical, Mark. You better keep hope alive. You better stay in this race. You better prove to them that you're the right man for the job, like Trump says, that you're a great leader. Stay in there, Mark. Stay in there.
Yeah. True. I mean, I think she's spot on. I heard this morning. I was like, I don't know if I've ever agreed with somebody more than I've agreed with that. Like, they knew from the beginning. You guys knew who he was. You knew he was filled with hate. You loved him for it. You absolutely loved. You knew something was very, very wrong with Mark Robinson. Don't try to jump off the train now. Ride it till the end. It's fine. This is your dream, not ours. The Republican Party, these are self-inflicted wounds. You've done this to yourself. Now enjoy the ride. And Mark Robinson is crazy, and he's not leaving the race. So great job, guys. You selected another winner. He's going to drag down that ticket in North Carolina, and Trump has no other path but through North Carolina. And that's why Lindsey Graham is desperately going to Nebraska and trying to encourage them to change the rules and to make it a winner-take-all state. Because they're desperate. Because Trump has to go through North Carolina. And again, let's always point out over and over that they've done this to themselves. They love hateful people. And then they bring these candidates who they don't vet. Donald Trump hates being vetted, right? All we hear about is the Steele dossier. That's what Oppo research is. Finding out what anyone could possibly say about your candidates. If they had done some Oppo research on Mark Robinson, they would have found all this stuff. But they don't want to know. Trump's like, oh, people are accusing you of being hateful. Me too. You can join our team. They love that he's hateful. The only okay thing about Mark Robinson, oh, hey, you're attracted to transgender women. Cool. Cool. That's absolutely fine, Mark. Be who you are. That's fine. And you know what's sick about the Republican Party? That is what they're going to have a problem with him about. The only thing I don't have a problem with Mark Robinson about is why they don't want him anymore, you know? That's the irony of the Republican Party. Be who you are, Mark. It's okay. It's okay. And I just have to show you because I find this absolutely hilarious. Kamala Harris posted this on Kamala HQ. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I have one more thing to show you, and then I'll show you that for the final thing. So I don't know if you guys know who Simon Rosenberg is, but I am... if I had a fetish, it'd be a political analyst fetish. Simon Rosenberg is one of the highest ranking members in the Democratic Party. This man is a genius, and he's like a polling expert. His brain is amazing. And this is him talking about the state of North Carolina.
Let me ask you this too right now. We are seeing, and you've been covering this, Simon, before I get to you, Tom, these Republican polls that are flooding in swing states. What are you seeing there, Simon?
Yeah, I mean, look, in 2022, the Republicans flooded the battleground states with polling that was 3 to 4 points more Republican than the independent polls, and they pushed the averages, into making the election look much more Republican. I mean, the Real Clear Politics final Senate map had the Republicans winning at 54 Senate seats. They ended up at 49, right? That was the core of the false red wave. You've started to see in recent weeks some of the return of those same pollsters, and where they've spent the most time and money have been in Pennsylvania, Arizona, and North Carolina, indicating that that's sort of, if you reverse strategy, that's sort of where they're most focused right now. But in the last week, we've seen 5 polls drop in North Carolina. They're clearly worried about North Carolina. Something's happening there, because the 5 independent polls that we've had in the last 2 weeks have Harris either tied or ahead in North Carolina in every one of the polls. In the 5 Republican polls, Trump is ahead. And so they've devoted a lot of energy to try to push the the impression of North Carolina into a much more Republican place than all the independent polling. It's the exact same tactics as the red wave in 2022. And whether this is because Michael Whatley, the chairman of the Republican Party, is from North Carolina and he needs to kind of clean up the mess that's down there. But the important thing is, if you read it backwards, it means they're very worried about what's happening there, and we're doing well, which is what the polling also shows. North Carolina is, at this moment, one of the real bright spots of the 2024 election for Democrats.
Thank you, Sully. Amazing. And that was before Mark Robinson decided to blow up the race, right? He's talking about these polls. I mean, he's saying this yesterday, but so polling prior to the Mark Robinson disaster. So I'm just trying to frame for you guys. And I'm telling you, Trump has to go through North Carolina. And if we can just think about it, like the way election night moves, it moves east to west, right? How the results come in. So if we early on election night, I don't know why I want to cry, because this makes me so happy. I think if we early on election night can stop Trump in North Carolina and take all the wind out of their sails, and he has to go through there, right? This takes all the wind out of their sails for all their plans. And I'm talking about trying to force Fox not to call the race, not to call the race for Kamala, worry, if they already know early on in that night that they have lost North Carolina, how hard will they fight any longer? How hard will they push it? Will they try what they did? Will they try what they did before? If it's already clear early on that they've lost North Carolina, I'm just trying to express how dire this situation is truly for them. This is probably the worst thing that can happen. And ironically, like Mark Robinson is trying to say Josh Stein did this. Josh Stein didn't do this. This is in the public domain and it was found. And again, you could have done Oppo research on your candidate and found it. And they didn't. And now they're here. This is a self-inflicted wound. They did this to themselves and now they don't know what to do. The fact no one's talking about it, they have no idea what to do. And if Mark Robinson's not getting out of the race, because what was the other option? There was like a deadline at midnight. If he dropped out, they could have another candidate, but Mark Robinson's name was going to still be on the ballot. That's not good either. That's not great either. And I mean, they could, and think about it. Remember this. I don't know if you guys remember, but North Carolina, the Republicans in North Carolina, which I think it was the Supreme Court of North Carolina, the Republican-leaning Supreme Court, already did Donald Trump a huge favor, right? The state election board, the North Carolina State Election Board said, no, RFK is on the ballot. It will cost us millions of dollars to take RFK off our ballots now. We're not going to do it. And it was overruled as a favor to Donald Trump, or at least in my opinion, as a favor to Donald Trump. They had to reprint ballots and it cost a lot of money. So they've already done him a solid, right? RFK was going to be stuck on that ballot and probably split the vote up even more. Trump already got his favor in North Carolina. Now, let me show you this video that I want to show you. So Kamala posted this yesterday.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person.
This is Martin Luther King on steroids. To cherish. You have to cherish Martin to start. You have to cherish him. Amen. It's like a fine wine because that's what you had.
And that's, I mean, I don't think Trump can escape it in North Carolina, but we have to relentlessly remind people that Donald Trump handpicked Mark Robinson. He would not be running for governor in North Carolina if it wasn't for Donald Trump wanting him there, choosing him to be there. Hey, someone's in the box, spin. If you're opposition, would you just say so in the chat so that we know? Are you opposition? If not, we're going to do Friendly Fridays today, probably in about 30 minutes. So, but if you are up, yes, okay, cool. Cool.
Hello. Hey, what's up?
Hi.
So this whole story with like the corn thing seems a little fishy to me, and I find it funny because if it was against the Democrat, you guys would be saying that. Like, who would actually use their real name or username that they use on everything on a corn site and comment with your picture? Like, it makes no sense. Like I think this is just a political hit piece that is people are seeing right past. Now,
Oh yeah, then I'm sure if it's truly not him, then CNN will be sued for defamation. But I think you should read the article and the evidence they have. Like it's not just that he used it on that site. He used it all over the internet, on his Pinterest profile for his inspiration, his Pinterest profile
Right.
for inspiration.
Right.
He used it everywhere on the internet. Same email address,
okay,
full
and
name,
if
picture.
if I was a politician and I wanted to get someone to look really bad, I would do the same thing. If I use Spin York on all of my profiles, Instagram, Snapchat, are you going to let me finish, or are you just going to interrupt me?
Again, I don't know if you understand how No, you already said that. You've said this already. So I'm just going to cut you off and explain to you how the internet works, right? You can't manufacture decades of metadata across the internet. So again, if like what you're saying, this is true, and someone, let's say a couple weeks ago, made a bunch of profiles, you can't retroactively. That's why the Wayback Machine tracks what happens. Even if you delete it from the internet, metadata is not deleted from the internet. That would easily be then discovered. If someone just put some profiles up a couple weeks ago, it would not track. CNN would know, oh, this isn't true, because of how metadata works on the internet. We're talking about decades. Because of defamation. See, if CNN brought this to light and had done the research, had technical experts check the metadata, do everything they could to verify the timelines, because that's what they're giving is timelines of when all this happened, and it wasn't real, then they would have the largest defamation suit on their hands probably of all
like
time.
I said, I'm sure they're going to, if he really didn't
You'd
do
have
it,
to be-
I'm sure he could just offer.
Yeah, the CNN has legal. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I'm sure he could offer. I'm sure he very much could. Yeah. And I'm sure CNN legal has combed over this with a fine-tooth comb. This could end their company. They could bankrupt themselves by doing this if they hadn't checked and rechecked. I know you're grasping at straws and have no proof of what you're saying, and you desperately want that to be the case. But CNN would have to be. No, I'm just telling you. I'm just saying this went through, I guarantee you this went through CNN's lawyers. They combed over it. They had technical experts check the evidence. You can't just, 46 days before the election, bring out accusations like this? Is Mark Robinson saying, oh, this isn't true and I can prove it?
I don't
and I'm
know.
gonna
He
sue?
did say it's not true. I don't know if he's going to sue.
No, he's not. Because no, of course he's not. If it wasn't true, he'd be saying a lot more. Right?
Yeah,
He could say, you could
that's
check
true.
my laptop. There's so many ways technically. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't retroactively fake decades of metadata. There's no way.
Yeah,
So if
no,
this wasn't
I-
true, he
I
could
agree with
easily
you.
prove it's not true. And CNN would know it's not true. If it was a hoax and it was made up, they would have immediately
See,
been
I
able
didn't
to
know
say,
it
oh
came
yeah,
from
this is fake.
decades ago. He made these comments decades ago on
Yeah. Yeah, prior to him even being lieutenant governor. What is it? It's 2004. Here, I can pull up the article real quick. It's listed. Let's see. If you want to pull up the article, it's called Oh, I don't want to say it. I'm a black schwanzi. That's literally what it's called. But yeah, hold on. It's many of Robinson's comments were gratuitously sexual and lewd in nature. They were made between 2008 and 2012 on Nude Africa.
And you said it was right before he ran for lieutenant governor. So how do you know someone didn't do it back then?
No, I said it's prior. I don't know what year he became lieutenant governor. I mean, I could Google it. I'm just saying it's prior to
But all
him
I'm saying is, how do you
being
know
lieutenant
someone
governor.
didn't do it back then? And it's just coming to light now. That's all I'm asking.
Listen, it's not just this, right? It's not just this. It's other things too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He used the same name over 20 years, right? They found him all across the internet with his picture, with the same email address, and with his name on his Pinterest profile everywhere for 20 plus years. I'm trying to tell you, it's not, hey, there's this one weird 4-year period where he used this name, and for some reason used his full name and this same account. It's that he used it everywhere across the internet.
Yeah, no, I mean,
you should read the article because they present a lot of that evidence.
I don't think they would release this unless, you know what I mean? Because you're right, they could. Yeah,
they would no longer exist.
But
yeah, they'd be gone.
On the same side of things, I don't really think this is going to sway anything. Like people who haven't really done research on this, they're not going to care what he does in his personal life on porn sites. Like people look up porn. Like who cares? I don't see what the big.
I'm sex positive. No, I'll tell you. Like this is. I think you're right in that. Well. Here, I think for MAGA, and I said this earlier, I don't know how long you've been listening, but I think for your folks, the issue with them is the only thing I don't have an issue with, and that's sad to me. Like, okay, turns out Mark Robinson is attracted to transgender women. For me, I don't care at all. I think that's great. I think Mark Robinson should unpack his internal bias and hate and self-actualize and be who he is. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But for MAGA, that is the disqualifying thing, right? They liked him because he ran on hating the transgender community, wanting to eradicate them. Oh, we're not going to, if they are going in public bathrooms, we're having them arrested. And then it turns out it's always the one, methinks the lady doth protest too much. Shakespeare wrote it in Macbeth. It's always the one screaming the loudest. But you gotta wonder why. And that's I'm saying for MAGA, that's the problem. But I agree with you. Well, there's two things. Josh Stein, his opponent, is double-digit points ahead. It was not likely. Mark Robinson is actually doing what Joe Biden was doing for the Democratic ticket. Like, there's usually the incumbent effect, right? Like, he should be giving other people a bump in that state because he's the lieutenant governor, possibly going to be governor, and has been around for a while. And he's actually dragging the down ballot races down. That's what people are saying. He's hurting other down ballot races by being in the race. So he's probably not going to win anyways. So it's not like this is a close race, but he's not. So I was just pointing out that's MAGA's issue with it, but independents, moderates, the people he actually needs, people who are like him spewing hate, right? Him spewing hate about the LGBT. This is a man who said women should not vote. Some people just need killing. He wants to eradicate the LGBTQIA. He's disgusted by the Civil Rights Act. He himself says he's a black schmatzi. Those people might find this very hypocritical, that all of the things he's standing for, part of what he's saying on that site, on this pornographic site, is he's expressing the opposite views.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like, I don't think people are really going to believe it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're probably going to think exactly like I did, that this is just like a political hit piece that they're trying to do.
I think that you
like I said, I don't live in North Carolina. I don't care. I'm just telling you how.
Oh, you're doing a great impression of
I mean, especially about the polls either. I don't know if you heard, you were just talking about it, but now they're making it so, or they're trying to make it that they're trying to switch Nebraska to a winner-take-all state, and that if that happens, Kamala could win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania and still not get enough votes to make it to 270. She'd need to get one more swing state. So that's not going to be good for you guys. And not only that, I had pulled up 2020 election results and compared them with all of the polls from now.
No, the issue is that Trump needs North Carolina. It's not about what Kamala needs. Trump.
Well, if he wins Pennsylvania, I don't really think it's.
Trump needs North Carolina. Well, they're in a dead heat in Pennsylvania.
If Trump wins Pennsylvania,
but he needs North Carolina. And that's what the issue is.
He has a 94% chance of winning the entire election. And I don't know if you saw Charlie Kirk yesterday at Penn State.
I don't listen.
Yeah, there's like a wave of freaking MAGA college students.
Again, but let me just turn your own, like all of these things you're saying don't mean anything. Because again, all the polls are neck and neck in the margin of error. No one knows what's going to happen in Pennsylvania. No one. And you're now bringing up Charlie Kirk, which just like I said, anybody who's listening to Charlie Kirk or believes a word out of Charlie Kirk's mouth is already voting for Trump. Charlie Kirk's a Christian nationalist. Like, again, you are missing that you don't need people that follow Charlie Kirk and agree with Charlie Kirk. You need sane independents and moderates who despise Charlie Kirk.
An article come out yesterday that's saying that she's not doing well with independents, actually.
Oh my God, I can't. And again, that's not true. I could show you article and statistical data that says that's not true. And so I don't really care. Again, you're just saying things you desperately hope are true.
I've read in articles. You can't tell me they're not true. I could say your article.
Yeah, I could tell you a million articles. Cite an actual source. What article are you talking about? What is... No, okay. Name the publication so we can look it up and go through it.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
Oh, isn't that always the way with the things you say?
Find it real quick. I'm on my computer, so.
And again, Trump needs North Carolina. What Mark Robbins, what has come to light in North Carolina is devastating for Trump. But I agree with you that you don't care about it. I agree with you that people who are in active cognitive dissonance do not care. Trump could unalive a baby on TV and you guys would not care. You guys would in some way figure out in your head like, well, God probably told him to do it. It's like, God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. So this is probably similar. Like it doesn't matter what Trump says or does, or anybody around Trump says or does, you don't care. I agree there. But again, your vote's already locked in. That we're not talking about you or the rest of the, high control group that you reside within.
I mean, we'll see what happens. But like I said, I could show you all the statistics. If you take the 2020 election results and how much they favored Joe Biden and the error, how much they were wrong, Trump is up in every single poll. Like, let me just give you one example.
Okay, again, Donald Trump lost the 2020 election.
Let me give you an example. Quinnipiac University in 2020 had Biden up by 8.62. Right now, and right now they have Harris up by 1. Yeah.
Are you talking about national polling? Yeah, again, I feel like, and I don't think you were on the same profile, but I think I talked to you about polling and I said to you, listen, I don't care about national polling. We are 46 days before the election. I only care about swing state polling, and then it would have to be only the high, very high rated polls. And even then, the majority of them are still within the margin of error. Like, this is a close race. I don't dispute that fact. But yeah, I definitely don't care about national polling
even
from
in the
2020.
swing state polls.
And again,
they have errors.
But again, the best pollsters were very close and called the race correctly. What's that? I can't even remember. What is that guy's name? Well, Fox News.
No,
for
Fox
one.
News was
Fox News. The most sophisticated polling data, right? It comes from Fox News.
Fox News is notoriously
Not the one
underestimated. Oh,
on election night. On election night, they knew who won. It's just a matter if they say it or not. Fox News has the information correct. That's what came out in the Dominion, like in the legal documents of the Dominion case, was how early Fox News knew correctly and how close it was and how quickly they had called the race. That's what it was about. And the internal documents showed this debate going on of if they should publicly announce it.
The two most accurate pollsters from the 2020 election were Atlas Intel and Trafalgar Group. Yeah. Okay.
Trafalgar.
Who cares? They both have Trump up. So we'll see what happens.
Oh my God, it's so painful. You are talking about things in the margin of error. And again, you should stop reading national polls, right? For every poll that Trump is up a little, again, within the margin of error, so is Kamala in another poll. But you should specifically look at swing state polling.
You know, those national polls do swing state polling too, right?
No, every time I've talked, I swear I talked to you before. And again, you're always reading
But what I'm
national
saying
polls.
is those companies...
And everything, like the most recent polling, like Pennsylvania is important. That is something. Washington Post had a poll come out yesterday. It's a dead heat within the margin of error.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will see what happens. But so this is my question to you, because you always just tried to say you scour through polls, find something that makes you feel good, and then like announce it. But my question to you is, why are you not offended that the Republican candidate for governor of North Carolina is a pathological liar?
What has he lied?
Why don't you hold him accountable for being a pathological liar?
You might not like his opinions, but what has he lied about?
His past, being attracted to transgender women.
I don't think it worked.
Apparently frequenting porn shops in Greensboro, North Carolina for years. While sitting on Sundays preaching to his congregation, telling them it is all a sin. I'm asking you to hold somebody accountable for lies and hypocrisy.
If you watch porn, no.
That is absolutely lying. Living a double life is a lie. Being a pastor who preaches about morality and the Christian faith and having another life
if he had a trans girlfriend
is a lie.
Then I would question
is a lie. Why is it wrong to have that's not wrong. It's not wrong to have a transgender girlfriend. Do you see what I'm saying? The only thing that is not wrong is the thing that MAGA thinks is wrong. That's the only thing.
I don't care
that
what
is
type
not
of porn
wrong.
he looks at, is what I'm saying. And it doesn't mean he's attracted to trans just because he watches a porn. That doesn't make him attracted to them.
Running for governor of a state, running for lieutenant governor of a state, doing countless interviews, showing up every Sunday, spewing religious ideology, that it's all a lie.
I don't think so. And maybe...
No, this is not. Hey, this is not a question. This is not an opinion
People's
question.
opinions
It's factual.
change. So maybe he was into that, and maybe he's not anymore.
No, you're not listening to me. It's not an opinion of whether or not Mark Robinson is a liar. I'm not asking you for your opinion. It is a fact. I'm asking you what is wrong with MAGA and yourself that you do not hold people accountable, that you are like, hey, if someone's been lying to me for years and I find out, I'm absolutely fine with that. No, it's not an opinion question. No, and for everyone who's still in the land of the sane here, do you see, this is cognitive dissonance. That's what you're witnessing right now. Complete and utter cognitive
What
dissonance.
his personal views are don't affect me, okay? What he does for the people who live there, that I can get behind.
No, deception. Being a public figure
all
and lying for years upon years upon
Are you
years.
kidding me?
Do you see the cognitive dissonance? How it's just the backflips, the mental gymnastics to make it okay. Listen, you're the one being lied to. You've been bamboozled and hoodwinked by Republican politician. Donald Trump is a pathological liar. Oh, he always runs. That's about how that goes every time we talk. Come back and see me when you see another poll that makes you feel good at night. It's like, lie to me more, bend me over harder. Don't you have any self-respect? MAGA has not an ounce of self-respect. Not an ounce. Oh, I've been being deceived for years. These people just laugh at me behind closed doors and lie to my face. I'm the butt of every joke in reality. Oh, that's fine. I'm sure they had a good reason for doing it. It's totally fine. It's like, have some self-respect for the love of all that is holy. Guys, keep tapping the screen. What time is it? He's punching holes in his track. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think before, wait, hold on. Let me see. Oh, good Lord. Do I have it in me? I think I do.
Buddy!
Okay, do you hi, I know every Friday, I don't know what I would do if I got through a week without us screaming
Here's
at
the
each
problem.
other.
You do so much better when you're solo. Don't have I'm still trying to figure you out. I don't think you have the extreme right, like the Tea Party, then you have the extreme left. I don't think you're the extreme left. I think you get influenced so easily by the extreme left people you bring with you. When you don't have them with you, you're more common sense oriented and more reasonable to talk to.
I just don't think you should use the political spectrum in that because, first of all, nobody influences me. I think because I am a woman, you have an idea that I have a tiny brain and do not think for myself. And I would caution you in that, Shuckett, because that would be absolutely incorrect. All of my ideas are my own.
There's just times
pretty smart. You're delusional. You have no idea. I am so much more intelligent than you even know.
Listen, I know a lot of people who are very intelligent. I have a brother who's one of the smartest people I've ever seen, but lacks common sense. So there are people, not saying you.
You're saying that I lack common sense? Yeah, okay. This is just another example. Shuckett has no respect for women in general. And he just has this idea that there's no way.
What makes you say that?
Shuckett.
What makes you say that?
You have no self-awareness.
Make that accusation.
Truly. The fact that you have no self-awareness? Oh, that's built on a trove of data that I've built up over time from watching your interactions with women, how you don't listen when women speak, how you don't discount them, right? Shuckett, just what this is completely unbeknownst to you, and it's your observational skills. It scares me. You used to be a police officer, and you can't tell that you are right now speaking to one of the most intelligent people you will ever meet in your life.
Let's not get crazy here.
And you are completely
Listen,
ignorant of that fact. This is a police officer we're talking to. Situational awareness has escaped him.
I've been around the block and met a million people, and listen, your assumptions always are so offensive because you don't know anybody. You make these assumptions about them.
Oh my gosh, are you here to denounce Mark Robinson's pathological
I
lying?
Just came in to say hi because it's Friday.
No, but what do you think about Mark Robinson? That's
don't
what I
really
want to know.
care. I don't get crazy like you guys.
So
Like, you
you're
guys
okay
get
with it?
too like over the top crazy. Like, okay, the guy lied. Okay, every politician lies on both sides.
Do you hear the cognitive dissonance? No matter what, they can't just be honest and say, "Hey, we should hold this guy accountable."
No, both sides should. Both
That's
sides
the
should be held
difference
accountable.
between the left and the right. You guys find out that you've been bent over and you're being effed from behind, and
No,
you're
that's-
just like, let me bend over farther. I've got to just find a way to make it okay in my mind. I'll just go to a place and just not think about the pain. It's okay. That's cognitive dissonance, shuck it. What happens on the left when someone is caught doing something like Gold Bar Bob Menendez, acting as a foreign agent on U.S. soil and hiding gold bars in his house and working at the behest of the government of Egypt. What did we do? We held him accountable and we told him to take accountability, go to jail, and get out of
I hold
Congress.
both sides responsible. It's you guys who don't hold both sides responsible. I tried to have this conversation with you before, have a nice, legitimate, mature conversation, and when you guys knew you were back in the corner, you booted me.
Who's you guys?
No,
Oh,
not last
week. No, that was about. We were talking about
not last
police.
week.
We were talking about the
Before,
police
regarding
last week. About,
holding both sides
what's his name?
responsible, and I tried to have a conversation about Hillary, and you guys got back in the corner, and you were just totally wrong about it, and you booted me.
No. Listen, you can have conspiracy
conspiracy.
theories about Hillary, right? Okay, then show me the evidence of the crimes Hillary's committed, because I've asked many people in MAGA about this. I've seen, Spin New York's here to just shuck it on. Did you find another poll you want to come up and yell about, Spin? I have talked to many people about Hillary Clinton. As soon as someone brings me the evidence of the crime she's committed, I'll hold her accountable for them.
The evidence
Same
was
with
put
Nancy
on enough-
Pelosi. You guys are just obsessed with powerful women. When you guys feel insecure inside, you don't know what that feeling is, but it's insecurity. It's your own inadequacy eating at you from the inside out. That you start saying, she
Felice,
must
I
be
hate
a
to break
criminal.
it to you.
How about this? Let me give you a line of logic, Shuck It. Let me give you a line of logic. Nothing, if you added together every single thing wrong Hillary's ever done in her life and everything Nancy Pelosi's ever done in her life, it is minuscule in comparison to Donald Trump. And you won't hold him accountable. Do you understand the hypocrisy of saying we should dig into people and retroactively find non-existent crimes when there are glaring crimes you refuse to hold
Again,
people accountable
I hate to
for?
burst your bubble, but
You
the
are a
evidence was
hypocrite.
presented in front of Congress under oath that she committed crimes. You just don't wish to accept that.
No, I've seen those congressional
was.
hearings, and again, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Oh, that's just like saying,
Can I ask
who
you a
was that?
question?
Yes, who was doing that yesterday? Oh, Hoodie. Yeah, that's like saying because we had to spend. Oh, actually, I have to hear. You have to hear something.
Yeah, what?
You need to hear something, because that's the same thing as saying that we spent millions upon millions upon millions of dollars on congressional hearings about impeaching Joe Biden, and you guys will swear, right, that there's evidence to impeach him. There is not.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
I have combed through every single thing that has to do with the evidence about impeaching Joe Biden. There is none. But if you guys ever came up with a real crime that Joe Biden committed, I would hold him accountable.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Was Trump investigated under the Espionage Act? Was he or was he not?
In what situation?
In Florida, for the classified documents case, was he or was he not investigated under the Espionage Act?
What difference does it make?
I'm gonna prove a point here.
I found this.
So
on
he
the
was
web.
investigated under the Espionage Act. What happened? Investigation, the FBI. What's the first thing they did?
No, I
after
don't even agree with that.
What's the first thing they did when they?
I don't know if he was or was not.
He was
technically
charged.
investigated under the Espionage
He was charged
Act.
under the Espionage Act.
Which charge are you talking about? Which charges are you specifically? You're talking about the Docs case. Which charges?
Okay, he was charged for obstruction under the Espionage Act because he was being investigated under the Espionage Act. So in the indictment, he was charged for.
Okay, what is the point?
Yeah, the point is, when they got done with their investigation,
what's the point?
What did they do? What gets a grand jury? Okay,
did you cut out?
That is what the process is.
Wait, I didn't hear you. I'm not trying to be rude. I genuinely didn't hear you. What did you say last? I can't hear you.
Okay, so when they completed their investigation, they submitted it to the grand jury, which is what they're required to do. They completed their investigation and they submitted it to the grand jury, correct?
Yes. Got it.
Okay.
I agree with everything you've said so far.
Okay,
yes.
good. Now we're on the same page. Trump was investigated under the espionage. Hillary was also being investigated under the Espionage Act. And when the FBI completed their investigation, they did something different. What they did.
Okay. Now I realize what's going on. Yeah, I agree with you.
So
Trump
Hillary.
was.
So was Hillary.
Right.
So when they completed their investigation, they did something different for Hillary than what they did for Trump. They didn't refer it to the grand jury, which is what they were required to do. Instead, the director of the FBI went on national TV and made a statement, which has never been done before. So why did they submit it to a grand jury? Yes.
Are you talking about Comey?
Here's what happened.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, I agree. What Comey did was absolutely never been done before. And it was done as a favor to Donald Trump, right? What Comey did was horrifically wrong.
So what they didn't do is they didn't convene a grand jury, which they were required to do. And when they didn't do it, what happened? They immediately subpoenaed Comey to testify in front of Congress. And this is what Comey testified to. He was asked specifically, did she use one device? Because Hillary said she would use one device. He said, no, she used 3. Did Hillary turn over all her emails? No, we found 30,000 that were not turned over. Did Hillary send and receive classified information? Hillary claimed did it. No, that's not true. She did send and receive classified. And he admitted under oath that that's what their investigation found. At that point, that's what the grand jury is for. It's them who decides whether to do an indictment, not James Comey.
I feel like we've had this conversation before. Now I know, because I was like, that's why I was confused. Yeah, I agree with you. Donald Trump was the indictment, like he was investigated under the Espionage Act. I don't agree about Hillary Clinton.
It wasn't.
No, I knew I've heard this line of logic. This is like the MAGA argument of trying to compare Hillary Clinton. No, I knew
so you
that.
don't accept the truth.
I knew this was in some way something I heard. No, I don't. I don't accept the truth. I don't accept
grand jury.
No, shuck it. No, shuck it.
So the
I
only
do
case
not
that they don't send to a grand jury is Hillary's, and you don't find nothing wrong with that. You're kidding.
Again, okay. I just want to take a moment and make you understand.
You don't understand how that
right?
investigation worked. He was required to send it to.
Why didn't James Comey convene a grand jury? Why?
That's the whole point. He did it, and he was required to. He was required to convene. It's not for him.
No, he was not.
What the evidence showed.
He was not.
You're wrong.
He was
It's not James Comey's
required
job.
to.
It's not James Comey's job to determine.
I agree with you. It's not. But you brought up James Comey. I agree with you completely. But no, hold on. I agree with you completely. And it was also not James Comey's job to get involved in the 2016 election.
Right.
Because that's what he was doing.
Jury. That's what he's required to do, and he didn't do it. And because a grand jury would have indicted him.
He had no business. Who was investigating Hillary Clinton? What?
That's a fact.
Again, I don't.
Yes, it is a fact.
No, it's not a fact. But again, you want to relitigate Hillary Clinton's case.
The truth.
Let's go through. No, actually, I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to tell you the differences, right? Donald Trump left office, right? He had classified documents. Was that a crime? Was Donald Trump charged for taking documents out of the White House? Shuck it. Nope.
He was not. President of the United States.
Right? Donald Trump and what? No, stop talking, because now I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain this to you again, because now it's all coming back to me. I knew I had remembered something about this, and I think we've actually had this conversation before. No, let me finish. Let's talk about the Espionage Act. No, I'm not. I'm talking to you about, Shuckett, stop talking. I'm talking to you about Donald Trump's charges. Donald Trump was not charged for taking documents out of the White House, right? Donald Trump was charged for willful retention. They asked for them back, documents that Donald Trump doesn't own. They said, hey, you have these, return them to us. And then he willfully retained them. That has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton's email server. As bad as you want it to. No, I'm going to say it again. As bad as you want it to, Shuckett, willful retention is what the problem was under the Espionage Act. We asked you for these back. We don't care you took them. Just like they never have cared how any documents leave the White House. It's just once we know you have them, if you willfully retain them, then you have a problem. And again, you always do this. Then you're going, what about Hillary and the bleach bit and the email server? When there's nuance there too. Did Hillary Clinton delete her emails? No.
I'm going to let you.
There's degrees of separation between Hillary Clinton and what happened.
Say what you're saying. I'm not going to interrupt.
There's way more nuance. And again, these cases are not similar. I'm so tired of every time you guys bring up the docs case, which again, he's not charged with taking documents anywhere. He's charged with, hey, we know you have these. Now you need to give them back, and saying no. And on top of that, obstructing that investigation.
Can I respond now?
That's what he's charged with. Not if you're going to repeat. What about Hillary?
Worse because one.
In your opinion. In your opinion. In your opinion. No. In your opinion. And that's not what came out of Hillary's investigation. The reason Donald Trump's in trouble and it was considered so egregious is because of the levels of classification and the types of documents he had. That's why they were alarmed by it.
Testified that she sent classified information unlawfully on an
Here we go,
server.
repeating the same things. Repeating the same things again, which has no comparison to this. Hey, no, Shuckett. You came up here, your argument is, I'm just breaking it down for you. Your line of logic is, I feel like Hillary Clinton did something worse.
She did. She wasn't president.
I think what you need to do is you need to build a time machine, do better in school, instead of becoming a police officer, get into the FBI and take James Comey's job and retry the case.
About you guys.
And you know what you should also do? Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump ran on lock her up. If Donald Trump wanted to go after Hillary Clinton, your Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, should have gone after Hillary Clinton, but he did not. So you're up here screaming, Hillary did something so egregious. How could she get away with it? Donald Trump, we know now retroactively, right, because of all these cases and because of Bill Barr's own testimony, that he had his hands all over DOJ investigations and who was and was not prosecuted. So you should be angry. You should say, I'm not voting for Donald Trump because in my opinion, Hillary Clinton did something so egregious and she never should have gotten away with it. And Donald Trump let her. That's who you need to hold accountable. Oh, do you see how the cognitive dissonance breaks there?
No,
and you can't continue the conversation because you won't hold the real person accountable. Donald Trump was literally directing Bill Barr which investigations
Felice,
to prosecute and which ones not to.
She committed crimes.
Or which investigations to investigate. And now you're sitting here saying...
You can't accept the fact that
Your argument is that Hillary did something so much worse than Donald Trump. If that's true, then ask yourself, what kind of person is Donald Trump to cover all that up and get away with, let her get away with it?
What about?
Hold him accountable, Shuckett. I agree with you. You shouldn't vote for him.
It's always what about
you
Trump?
should not vote for somebody who would let somebody get away with something so
and she committed the crime of sending and receiving classified information.
Who could have prosecuted Hillary Clinton?
The grand jury.
Who was president?
The grand jury, and it wasn't. And why wasn't
Who
it
was
sent?
president?
Why wasn't it
Who
sent?
was president? Who was directing federal investigations? Who cleaned out the Southern District of New York?
Again, why was it?
Right?
You
The
won't
head of
answer
the Southern District of New York. Because he wanted to control who was investigating what. Who cleaned out the DC DOJ or the DC office? Bill Barr did for Trump. If you're upset about which investigations went forward and which investigations didn't, the guy you need to take that up with is Donald Trump.
Again, I'll say this for the 100th time. You're sitting there.
There's nothing to say.
Accepting
There's
the
nothing to
fact
say.
that the criminal justice process was changed for Hillary. That's the whole point. It was changed.
Under
No, it
Donald
had
Trump's
nothing to do with
DOJ.
Donald Trump.
Yes, it did. Shuckit, you don't actually ever have factual information,
do.
but we know now
It is a fact.
from Bill Barr that Donald Trump had his actual
Prove the fact
hands
that it
in
goes to a
everything.
grand jury when the investigation's done, and it didn't for Hillary. That's a fact.
Do you know
Is that a
Donald
fact?
Trump was giving out pardons for money?
Is that a fact?
Donald Trump was killing investigations into people for payment.
Here's another fact that you brought up that.
So if you have a problem with that,
you want to talk about
then
the other
hold him
hypocrisy
accountable.
statement you made regarding Hillary Clinton or regarding Trump?
Hypocritical
You want
statement.
to accuse him of quid pro quo.
Okay, so we're pivoting from your
you
last
want to
argument.
say that
That's
he was
fine.
committing quid pro quo with oil executives. You said that on a live.
Oh no! Let me tell you what I said. Let me tell you what I said. It was a Washington Post exclusive. No one denies this. There was a meeting where Trump called together oil and gas executives and billionaires in that industry and said, "Hey, you guys are rich. Pool together a cool billion, and I'll deregulate the oil and gas industry." There was a Jamie Raskin called for a congressional hearing over this. There's been investigations and people that were interviewed by the Washington Post that were then interviewed by the Oversight and Accountability Democrats. If you don't know about it, you can do research on it.
Because this is what my whole point is. This shows your hypocrisy. Hillary Clinton did something as Secretary of State that's never been done before in the history of our country. She's back
to Hillary. Oh my God.
And taking millions for the Clinton Foundation because she thought she was going to be the next president, and they thought she was committing the largest quid pro quo ever committed in our government. She took millions upon millions. That is 100% fact. Look it up. And even the Democrat Party in the bottom said, you can't meet with world leaders and take millions. You can't. But she did.
You're talking about her nonprofit and people were donating to charity?
While she's Secretary of State.
Again,
she's not permitted.
No, she had nothing to do with her own nonprofit. She, as secretary, no, let me clarify. Shuck it. Oh, Shuck it. You're out of control. I have to mute you. Now what Shuckit is saying is complete conjecture. So what was happening was when you are Secretary of State, you do travel around like we see Anthony Blinken doing it now. Travel around and you meet with world leaders about different situations that was going on. Shuckit, if you're going to interrupt me, then you have to go.
You're wrong. It's fact. Look it up. She took millions.
Shuckit, I don't want to have to drop. I do not want to have to drop you. I'm not done. I wasn't finished.
You're a hypocrite.
Shuckit. I'm tired of you. Come back next Friday and make up lies. Okay. Now I'm just going to clarify what he's saying. So when you're Secretary of State, you do travel around and you talk to world leaders about situations going on. Just like Anthony Blinken is in Israel and the Middle East negotiating, every other day. That's what Hillary Clinton was doing, was her actual government job. Now, does Bill Clinton, and is there a nonprofit that exists called the Clinton Foundation who takes in donations for charity? And were they actively operating as a nonprofit at the same time? Sure. I don't know what else to say about it, except for, again, we can actually trace the billions upon billions of, millions. Sorry, I'm not going to say billions. I don't believe that that's true unless we're counting Jared Kushner's $2 billion. But the millions of dollars that were spent at Trump hotels, right? during Trump's presidency by governments, by people that wanted Trump's endorsement, right? That's all traceable. And that's actual capitalism, not a nonprofit that keeps their fine. There are no government organizations more scrutinized than nonprofits. That's why Trump is banned from charities in New York, right? It's a lot easier to take in money to Trump hotels that way. It's much harder to do that with a nonprofit because they comb through everything. But again, yeah, is that a conspiracy theory? Sure. Could I actually tie money while Trump was in office? Was not a bank that operates in China, right? Like, I'm not talking about a capitalistic bank. I'm talking about a Chinese state bank. Were they renting floors of office space in Trump Tower that they were not using? Can I tie Trump getting money directly from the Chinese government while he was in office? Oh, absolutely I can. Don't get me started on it. And then you're saying a nonprofit, while Hillary Clinton was doing her job as Secretary of State, there was a nonprofit operating called the Clinton Foundation. Nonprofits you don't understand how 501c3s work. Those are scrutinized beyond belief. That money has to be used towards charitable contributions. It's not like she's going around, taking helicopter rides with it. If she is, you get caught and you are in trouble. Like, that's how it goes. 501c3s are not a joke. Oh yeah, we could talk about Ivanka's Chinese patents. We could go on and on about quid pro quo. That's my point. Shuckett is a defense lawyer for Donald Trump, right? He will never act. I mean, like, it's always, what about this? What about this? What about this thing I technically have no evidence of? And then, you know what I mean? But will he ever hold his own guy accountable for the things there are in fact evidence of? You have a problem with quid pro quo? Then you should have a problem with the money that Trump took in from not a bank operating in China, a Chinese state bank that was paying him while he was in office. Make it make sense. Yeah, full floors leased by the Chinese government. See, that is what I'm talking about. And it goes on because they moved offices. That's why it's so shady. Everyone should look up this thing about the Chinese state bank. Because they moved offices. They took office space in another building and kept paying for empty office space. What? Now, why? Why do you think somebody might do that? That's a very strange thing to do. And I just want to be clear. I want money out of politics. I want billionaires' money out of politics. I want foreign governments' money out of our politics. I want it all out. I don't like any of it. I find it morally reprehensible. I think we do need to get money out of politics. But that's not what Shuckett wants. Shuckett just wants to say, what about Hillary? And for some reason, when Donald Trump commits financial crimes, remember when it came to light Trump didn't pay taxes? And they're like, well, that's smart. If Hillary didn't pay taxes, what do you think they would say? Oh, she's robbing the government. All that it's a problem because Hillary's a woman. Like, it makes no sense. You guys think Donald Trump's a smart businessman because he defrauded the state of New York and lied about the square footage and valued assets incorrectly when it suited him. You guys think he's smart for doing that. If Hillary did that, we'd all have to sit here and listen to Shuckett scream about how Hillary's a criminal. Why is it whenever Donald Trump commits crimes, MAGA thinks he's a smart guy, sticking it to the man? And if anyone else does anything that they don't even have real evidence of, right? It's mostly conjecture. But then, that's a criminal. Like, when the day you hold Donald Trump accountable for the provable crimes he's committed and stop following him blindly is the day that you're not a hypocrite when you come up here and say, what about Hillary? Anyways, I think it's time. I think we should do Fridays, don't you? But I might need some help on something because I need to change the boxes to a grid or something? Oh, did I do it? What? You guys, I don't want to be weird about it, but that's the first time I got something right the first try. Yay. Okay. Well, wait. So I'm just thinking here out loud. Chrissy, are you gonna come up? I think we're gonna do like 2.5 minutes per person and do like I'm not exactly sure. We didn't completely plan this out, but is Chrissy, are you oh there she is. I got her. Gotcha. Okay. We'll do like 2.5 minutes per person.
Yeah.
Does that
I'm
work,
gonna put
Chrissy?
2.5 minutes. I'm gonna bring multiple people up at a time.
And guys, I'm gonna let people up and then just like go on mute. Just make
Yeah,
sure you're
just make sure
muted so
you
that
mute
we're not
yourself.
like disturbing. Hold on. I'm pushing buttons. And I did watch that MAGA documentary they're always talking about the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation. So I do know what Shuck is talking about. Because you know that Eric guy, and he's always yelling about that documentary. I did finally watch it once. And yeah, it's unfortunately they just don't have anything. And again, if you want to wonder why Hillary Clinton wasn't dragged to a grand jury, you just got to ask Donald Trump. Hold on, I gotta read something. Justin says duct tape Shuck. The duct tape fund for Shucket's mouth. I'm sure Hillary Clinton will donate to the fund. Hillary Clinton lives rent free. I don't know how you choose what box you're putting people in either. I'm so confused. So confused. Tell me, are we ready? I'm ready when you are, Chrissy.
Ready to go. I think Twitter was okay.
Sue, what's up?
Oh. How are you?
It's been a week. I'm getting through it, right? This is like week 2 of this. I think I'm a perfectionist, so I like always feel like I'm failing even when I'm not, but I think this probably is going better than we all saw it going, right?
This is going pretty good. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
I think so too.
Hey,
no, thank you guys for all your
do you have
encouragement.
couple
Otherwise, I
minutes
would
to
not
talk
be
about-
here.
Yeah, you would. Okay.
About
So
what?
do you have a few minutes to talk about inflation?
Yeah, well, there's a time
Are we
everyone
on
has 2 minutes and 30 seconds a person, just to make sure. I think we might be. You're on one.
I'll
You're
fit
on
it
one
all in
bar. So are you on? Okay.
I'm on work's Wi-Fi. That could be a problem. Let me drop down and come up a little bit later, maybe if you have more time.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I think there's a lag. Yeah, Sue, come back when you have better Wi-Fi, and we will fix it then. Toodle, what's up?
Oh. Hey there. Oh,
Hey,
it's
what's going
been
on?
wonderful to have Felice 2.0 back in our lives. Yeah,
Best 2
it
weeks
was
ever.
rough without you for a while. You know, mental stability was
Rising like a
was tricky,
phoenix in
but
Phoenix.
with all the great things that have come your way, it's so awesome and deserved. But we can't kink shame poor Mark. He brought pizza to the booth. So he was such a kind guy.
The only thing I'm fine with Mark's sexuality. I just want to be clear. I think we should celebrate Mark's sexuality and encourage him to be who he is. I don't think
No,
it's going to
definitely
go that
not.
way. Did you say he
I
brought
said
pizza?
we have a
What
bad
did you
delay.
say?
He when he went to the booth, he
Here, let me just check my Wi-Fi really quick. Because maybe it's
tap everybody, tap tap tap, share the live.
Okay, yeah, I think my
How about
Wi-Fi is
now?
fine. It says
Any?
the connection is strong. So
Okay,
I
there's just
can
a
I
little bit
can
of a
hear
delay.
you
It looks
fine.
like. How about now? Oh, good. I was just saying that for
I
Mark,
can
he
hear
was
you.
kind enough to bring pizza when he came to the booth at the shop back in the day. Is what I've heard. Yeah,
Oh,
because
really?
he was such a regular
Weird.
apparently. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
at those
he
corn
would come like
shops?
several times a
Yeah,
day, and he would bring pizza
several
several times a
times
day.
a
If you're
day?
familiar with oh gosh,
I didn't read that. I'm gonna have to do some more research.
I'm just so glad he's going to destroy North Carolina. And it's the best part is it's narcissist versus narcissist because he refuses to drop out. So it's just so chef's kiss that it's going to be a narcissist that brings down the ultimate narcissist. So because I think the Trump campaign has asked him to stop. Don't say Trump's name. Don't put any ads out. Disavow us. And Mark is like, heck no, I'm going full bore.
No, absolutely. I don't. Mark isn't. When I heard him talking like the Pope, if you're using the royal we, be like, we never said that. Yeah, that's when I was like, oh no, this man's hopeless.
Anyway, I'm glad to be here for the first Friendly Friday, and wishing you all the best. We'll see you on the Discord, and it's so much fun there. And I apologize for oversharing on the Discord. I sometimes stem with ADHD, and it all
I
just
love
comes
it.
out.
I love it. I think we all are oversharing in the Discord. I can't tell you how much like everyone's support and everyone talking about, you never realize how much you have in common with people until you all overshare in the same place.
Alrighty, well, love to all the fam. We'll see you. We'll see you in the future. Have a good weekend.
See you in the Discord. I'll probably do a subscriber only live this weekend, so see you
Awesome.
there. Chrissy, do you want to put people in boxes? Because I don't really know how to do it. I'm getting confused.
Not actually giving you the option.
Anima, what's up?
Just waiting for the timer to start. I don't want to take more time than I deserve. Oh, I wanted to actually, while I'm not on timer, let me real quick point something out to Foster's. Won't take but a second. So hopefully you can see it, but I've got this. Oh no, did I get dropped? Oh no, never mind. I've got this thing that you can attach your phone to. I call it this. My family calls them this crazy things, but like it straps onto your any like table or this is a bookshelf that it's attached to, and then it's like a metal, bendy thing with the phone clip on the end, and it's a really great way. I have one in front of my computer too, to where I just put this. I put my phone in it. Right, and then I just point it at the screen. Yeah, I've got literally like 5 of them in my house. But let me turn off my camera. Yeah, I try not to shop on Amazon, but I haven't been able to find them locally. So everyone shop local. # shop local.
Thank you. I'm gonna get one.
What actually, you know what? Really quick,
Chrissy,
I do
mute.
want to point this out too. This thing is amazing. And yes, I got it on Amazon. I couldn't find it locally again. So this is a dual charger. There's a charger down here for the phone that I record with. And then up here.
I can't
sorry.
see you. You're off camera.
My bad.
All right. Your
So
camera's on.
this is a dual charger. There's a charger down here and then a charger up here, right? So you can put your phone on that front charger. So I put my recording phone on there, and then you can like, you can move it around like it's as long as you have a surface to put it on. But then I charge my recording phone on that second charger pad down here, so they can both charge at the same time. It charges a little slower than some of the chargers, but I highly recommend it.
That would be helpful for me.
Anyway, yeah. So I do some lives on what I call #TikToknical, which is like the back end and like how to do your TikTok videos, and I don't post videos about it. I just do lives on it. And then like meta, like back end stuff about like hosting and stuff. Like for instance, my recording phone, I keep a Bluetooth in my ear, and you know, for ADHD, it's a little bit frustrating at first, cause like you've got this sound that's, it's echoing in one ear, right? But it's so good to make sure that your audio sounds good while you're live. And like, I don't know. That's just another one of my tips. But so is my time going yet, Foster's?
I mean, your time is starting. Like I have a finite amount of time,
there,
so if the clock's not on, like it still counts.
Right.
Like I just want to be clear. Like if she forgets to start the timer,
I just wanted to make sure she was ready. So I just wanted to make sure she was ready. So as far as mods go, I saw like 5 in here today. Did you fill up your mod slots? I think there's like 30. Because I communicated with you on Discord already. You had responded to my Discord message. I sent you like 9.
I'm not sure.
You're good.
I'm sorry. Like I'm not. So are you
Well,
asking
I'm just curious.
me if I
Yeah,
need
the mod
mods
status
right now?
and then
Is that
like,
what you're asking? Yeah, listen, I just started doing lives. I'm figuring out how to push buttons. I have no idea. Like, there's a million things going on. I'm not sure if I need mods or not. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a lot of things that have to do with organization and how things are not going to go. I'm very overwhelmed by it. I have
no worries, and I totally understand that. And you do have a lot of stuff going on, and we see it. We see you, Felice, and we love you. So, right? Yeah. No, I was going to ask what like the best way to message you is, but it sounds like you're still kind of in the process of getting that set up. So that's fine. Yep.
I get like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of messages a day. Like it's no one take it personal. If I can't read all the messages. And also I get like threats and other things like that, which it's really bad for my mental health. So if I happen to open one message and it like damages my mental health, I might not check my messages for days. I just
totally
have to
understand.
protect myself.
Very valid. Okay, well, I was going to ask which place you prefer, but no worries. I wanted to point out because
you message Benny, it might help.
Okay, yeah.
Benny can contact police after that.
Gotcha. No worries. Filtering is good. Okay, so Mark Robinson, I just wanted to point out really quick, based on what somebody else had said, because it was like we validate his sexuality basically, but like he's talking about peeping when he was like 14, and he's like reliving that experience online in these messages and like saying how great it was, and he wishes he could have done it more as an adult. So like he's got bad sexuality, like his sexuality proclivities are unpleasant and wrong. So like we don't kink shame, but like that's gross. And then I wanted to hear your thoughts on the Oprah interview. I don't know if I missed that, and thank you so much for what you do.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to drop you down and then I'll answer that question just to make sure that we are staying on task at all time. So yeah, I talked about it at the beginning of the show. Yeah, I thought the Oprah thing was very moving. I think it's good she's an independent. I think it was like an hour and 30-minute Oprah show. We had never, it's like she's like, let me show you guys how I used to do it. I wish we would have all gotten a car at the end. But yeah, what my favorite part was, and what was, I think I kind of didn't watch too many Oprah shows, but what was good about it, she addressed real issues. It was not just, at first I was like, oh, is she just gonna have all these famous people on and we're just gonna kind of like be like, oh, Oprah has a lot of rich famous friends. But no, she talked about Amber Thurman, which not as many people as I would like are talking about. And she talked about mass tragedies in schools and a school shooting victim. So it actually turned out for me, I admire her for what she did. She talked about the issues that it's uncomfortable for other people to talk about. Hey, Justin. You're on mute. Maybe he doesn't even know he's up here. Robert, what's going on?
How's it going? It's great
Good,
to
how
have you back. We missed you the time you were gone, but just wanted to thank you for last night. Yeah.
And I appreciate all your support. No, I know. It was fun watching
cool.
with you.
Raising the roof, the flags, everything. But yeah, I was just reading this morning that Trump now is asking Mark Robinson to drop out of the race. So I'm like, wow, really?
Oh, he is going to ask.
Yeah.
I figured that would happen. I didn't know when.
I mean, it's just crazy how he attracts all these people, and then, when they get called out and stuff, he's like, well, I don't really know him. I never met him, blah, 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 stuff. So I'm just waiting for him to say that with this guy.
Well, you know what's interesting, because I totally agree with you, and what you have to remember about the evolution of Donald Trump's relationship with people, everyone will eventually end up under the bus. No matter how close you are to Trump, you know what I mean? Like, look at Michael Cohen. How many years did they ride so hard for each other and still ended up under the wheels of the bus? Everybody is disposable. Narcissists are transactional. When you stop being useful, you end up
Just
under
like
the
Rudy
wheels of the bus.
He left him behind. Like
Absolutely.
Rudy Kaludi went and begged him
Well,
to
yeah.
give him money, and he's like, "Man, get out of here. I ain't gonna help you." But yeah,
Rudy's hiding his
you think
assets.
so?
Well, no, it was discovered. You know how he lost the
Yeah.
defamation case? Well, he didn't try to defend himself against Ruby Freeman and her daughter. Yeah, like that's part of the court documents, is that they found out he was trying to hide his assets. He declared bankruptcy and all that, but it wasn't real.
Let me get out of here because I see my time's about up. But just want to wish you luck on more of these events, and I'm praying that you get an interview with Tim Walz so you can give him a hug.
What are these days? One way or another. Thanks, Robert. I followed you. I thought I was already following you. I followed you, and I
Alrighty.
appreciate your
Well,
support.
Have a good day, and take care.
Bye. Justin, are you here?
Yeah,
I don't
I'm here,
even know
sorry.
if Justin's here. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me? Hey.
What's going on?
Not
Yeah.
much. I finally got to catch a little bit of your live. Unfortunately, I'm kind of doing work and this, so I try to catch as much as I can when I can. I want to just say that you are doing amazing. I love watching your as always. I also wanted to say that if you do run into Dad, aka Tim, give him a hug and tell him that Justin says hi. But no, I just want to say you're doing an amazing job, Felice, and I appreciate how amazing you are and the information you provide us each day.
Oh, and I appreciate you, and you're the best. And you know what is funny? I think I told you this like once in text messages, but like you could be Tim Walz's son. You pretty much are. You basically are Tim Walz's son. It's like I'm friends.
He
with
does
Tim
look a lot
Walz's
like my
son.
dad.
So,
Let's be honest.
I'll text you this weekend. He does. That's what I'm trying to say. You literally could be his son. So one day, that's how I see you in my mind. I'm just like, I'm friends with his son. I have a hat coming on Monday that says, Tim Walz is my dad.
That's awesome. If you is it like just being custom made, or how is it?
Yeah, like I
think
just
that
had it
sounds like
made.
a great idea to put on. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'll
I might have
sell
to buy
'em.
one of those from you if you put them out there. So
I love Kafefi too. You have fans in the
friends.
chat. He's the best. We're gonna do a
Yes.
live together one of these days. I'll text you this weekend though. If you're up early tomorrow
all right,
morning,
let's do
let's
that.
talk while
Sounds
I
good.
walk.
All right, thanks, Felice. Bye.
Okay, cool. Bye, Justin. Groot.
Hey, how's it going, Felice?
Good.
Doing
How are
pretty
you?
good. I wanted to say that I'm so excited that you're able to start doing more of these events, and I think that's awesome. And not only that, but I wanted to compliment you on your outlines. Like they're so organized, and there's a lot of information in them. It's great.
Thank you. So I really appreciate you for looking through them. It's a labor of love. Like I said, I just want to create an army of people that are armed with the truth, right? Like I'm so tired of the misinformation and disinformation. And yeah, you know what's funny about these like democratic events? I think they feel like I'm some like creator who, I don't know what, like not, I guess maybe some creators are like snobby or something. They are like, thank you so much for like everything you do. I'm like, I would do all of this. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have a life. Like, there's nothing more important to me than fighting for our rights. I can't imagine what else I would be doing other than covering political events. So, I mean, I'm just thankful I get to be a part of it. It's
Absolutely,
really cool.
and also like fighting back against disinformation and all of that. I think I've told you in previous lives that my dad he's third party, and I've been doing everything I can to convince him to like come to the good side. But it is hard, but I am making progress. He after RFK dropped out, he finally admitted that Kamala Harris is great, but now he's his new concern is just, oh, it's the Democratic Party. So I'm still working on him. He's a work in progress, but maybe I'll get him to vote for a Democrat for once.
Yeah, no, I think you're doing good work, and don't hang your hat like, like for me, because I'm never going to convince my dad. I try, but just also remember, like, it's good that you have an open line of communication, and sometimes like that'll be enough, and then when he's ready, he'll come to you.
Yeah.
But I think it's great you guys are talking. Like, the conversations are the most important, like just keeping the open line of communication.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
I appreciate you so much. See you in the Discord. Hey, Jer. Jer Bear, are you there? I rhyme. It's Friday. I'm tired.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you? It's Friday, so good.
Well, a few weeks ago, I tried to connect with you. And I think my earphone wasn't working, but I was first trying to say, and the call just didn't go through, but you look so much like a second cousin of mine. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
The other thing
That's
I have,
so nice. I have a couple people.
Go ahead.
Rarely people say that, but I've had people tell me I look like someone they know, and then I really do. I've seen a couple people on Earth that do look like me. It's eerie. Yeah.
A question I have for you is, I've heard you talk about family members. You're just mentioning about a family member. I actually have my dad's one brother that's supposed to be Marine Corps veteran, and he's a MAGA supporter. What are your thoughts about how you speak to people? Because he's somebody that said even before Trump was elected that he was okay with him not paying his taxes. And I looked at him and I says, and what does that mean? I said, so because you're a self-made millionaire yourself, you think that evades you from paying taxes into this country that you and Trump has lived in? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I do agree. There's a cross-section, there's a subsection of people especially in America, who that is the reason they support Donald Trump. Like, once you make up over a certain amount, you no longer want to pay taxes, or you want to pay the smallest amount of taxes possible. And that is the goal. I have family members, and I know I've met a lot of people on the app that support Trump specifically for that reason. And when I worked in the tech industry and advertising, like, I started out making like 35,000, and it's like everybody around me and I started making more and more and more, and you could literally see that phenomenon happening. Like, people realizing every time you got to a higher tax bracket, like, oh no, like, I don't want to pay this.
I just wondered about it. It's amazing to me that people that claim to be patriots or claim to be about this country, and yet you would do something like that. You take this position, you would go against the government or try and overthrow the government, like with what they've all tried to do, or this delusion and denial about what he's done. It's wild.
Yeah, I'm not about the greed, right? I understand middle class, like people saying I can't buy food, so I don't want to pay taxes. Like, I'm much more sympathetic to that than like rich people being, making the argument that like I just don't want to pay my fair share. I agree with you.
We're also buying gold shoes and NFC. Yeah.
Exactly. And their wallets are too small for their 50s, and their diamond shoes are too tight.
Exactly.
I know.
Well, thank you. I wanted to talk to you, so.
You're the best, Jer. See you in the Discord. Hey, is it time? What's going on?
I'm struggling this morning with technology. It's Tanya. I'm not going to give a reminder to folks they can vote for whoever they want to. They
Tanya.
can. My very mega husband has decided to just not vote, which I count as a win. So,
I do too. No, that's a win.
I said I was going to watch the debate, and he said, "Oh, Dumb and Dumber," and I said, "Well, dumb." And he said, "Well, I don't know how you could even watch or listen to either of those fools." So that's a win in my account, even though I know that Kamala is not a fool. So I wanted to say something yesterday, and I was too late. I can't remember who the commenter was, but they were talking about, oh, now I lost my train of thought. Dang it. Oh, having to explain Trump's comment about a bloodbath, and how you read the quote over and over again, and he said, but he meant hoodie. Of course it was hoodie. And I thought, but he didn't say that. He said exactly what you said. He may have been weaving back around, but he never got there. I just recently posted a couple videos from his Michigan town hall where he was answering questions without answering the question. Like if you have to explain what he's talking about, it's in your brain, not his. So that, I mean, anyway, at this point, I think,
Get out of my head,
it's
Tanya.
a kink for all of them
Agreed.
now that they need to explain what he's saying. I really do. I mean, between Shuckett and the other guests this morning,
They're his
I just
defense
feel
lawyers. He's raised up an army of defense
I
lawyers.
just feel like it's a kink. That cognitive dissonance is something they're enjoying. They're getting something out of it for whatever reason. So anyway, I just want to say I'm really thrilled with your growth and how far you're going with doing this on your own. It really makes me happy. You're great. So thank you.
And your support means the world to me. Thank you so much, Tanya. Don't be a stranger. And I just wanted to say one more thing about what Tanya said, because I think it's important to say, like, you'll notice this now, like the fact checking. If Kamala Harris was quoting Trump, he said, if I don't win, there's going to be a bloodbath. He didn't say an economic bloodbath in the auto industry. He said a bloodbath. And then she got fact checked by the press, and they're like, well, he meant this. Like, this is the day and age we're living in. You can quote Donald Trump word for word and get called disingenuous. Hey, Smash.
Hey, how are you? Good. I just want to say I love your enthusiasm for everything. I think we're similar in that sense. I'm also up at like all hours of the night researching every detail of things that I could find possible. So I think that's awesome. So thank you. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and I am helping with the Lucas Kuntz campaign for senator. He is great.
love
and I just
him.
wanted to share some internal polling came out that he is possibly only 4 points behind Josh Hawley. So yeah.
I would love him to beat Josh Hawley. I like cried when Claire McCaskill.
Yes, and so just
left.
anybody out there that hasn't looked him up, he kind of stays quiet. He's really focusing on like the small towns in Missouri. He hasn't officially endorsed anyone. He's just kind of doing his own thing. He only takes grassroots campaign. But John Goodman did endorse him and do a video, so that was pretty awesome. So
yeah, and he's a veteran,
And he has
right? He's
law
like a
degree.
Marine.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
came
he's
out of-
valedictorian. Yeah, he went
Yes.
to Yale too,
Yep,
just
yep.
like Josh Hawley, right? Yeah. So it's like the non-gross
and he's worked
Josh Hawley.
in government as well. He's pretty awesome. So I just wanted to share that good news that there is a little bit of hope, and we also have the RV reproductive rights on the ballot in Missouri. So
Oh, I'm so happy for you guys. I was watching that with like bated breath. I was so worried
yeah,
you
I was
guys
actually
weren't
in
going to get it
the
on the ballot. I'm so
OBGYN for
happy.
something when the news came out that it gets to stay. So I was like crying in the office. So it was really good. So
I could cry
but
now.
thank you so much for what you do. I just sent a message to join the Discord and everything, so I look forward to that. But I just think you're awesome. You're one of my heroes on here. I love you to death, and just keep doing the good work.
I followed you, Smashley. That's amazing. I'm so glad you're working for Lucas Kuntz. I love him as well, and I would love for Missouri to be one of the places in the South that, you know, breaks up the maternal desert. Like, women need places they can go to get health care, and like, I'm so glad
Absolutely.
you guys got it on the
Thank
ballot.
you.
You're
Thank you.
amazing.
Have a great day.
I'll see you in
Bye-bye.
the Discord. You too.
Hi, Felice.
Hey,
How are
Liz.
you?
Good.
Good, thanks.
Good, how are you?
I've been listening for a while, and I'm married to a Republican. I am not a Republican, but he has a lot of influence on my kids. So, specifically, my 14-year-old son. So, this summer, we spent a lot of time in the car driving back and forth from my parents, who live about 5 hours away. And I had you guys on in the car almost every drive. And he loved it and learned so much. And he's now on my side. So I just wanted to thank you so much for all of your information and your patience with people and just all of your facts and knowledge. Just know that you're reaching even teenagers, and it's great and it's amazing.
That's amazing because I'm really worried about young boys. I was reading studies, and we don't really have to worry about young women. They're large, because of the fight for reproductive rights, they're largely liberal and climate crisis. But yeah, we do have to worry about young
My
men
daughter
in this
just
country.
turned 18 last week, so she'll be voting for the first time, and she's clearly voting for Kamala. But, he's 14. My son's 14. I know he's got a lot of years to go, and he is surrounded by a lot of red. But just the points that he heard you make, and, he came to me like a month or two ago and was like, Mom, I'm on your side now. And it just, I started crying. It was so wonderful.
That's amazing.
So
I
just
think it's a
want to
testament that you're a good mother, too.
I just want to say thank you so much, and I'm so glad you're back, and I'm going to keep listening. And when I have him, he'll listen with me.
Amazing. That's amazing. And I really appreciate you telling me that. And yeah, just being a safe space for your son to come and talk and listen, I'm sure, that's what it is. Just keep lines of communication open with kids. And eventually they always come back.
Yep. So, well, you have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
You too. Happy Friday. Oh, I'm going to follow
Happy
you, Liz.
Friday. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Hey, Evie.
Hi.
Hello.
I was listening to everything, and I agree with you 100% on everything.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. I was confused who was talking. Tony, just 1 second. It's Evie's turn, and then I love you. Stop asking, and then okay. Oh, Evie left, so never mind. I love you. Stop asking. What's going on?
Okay, now.
Felice sucks.
Yay! Happy Friday. Oh, I look forward to that every
We're
Friday.
not able to do it that much because he's normally in school, but he stayed home today. So
That's amazing. I'm so glad to
I'm
hear
glad
from
to hear
you.
from you too. I'm so glad I got your message, and I'm on the Discord, and I'm just really grateful that you're doing this.
No, same. The feeling is mutual. The community we're building and just having you around is very important to me. So I just can't thank you.
Well,
enough for
I
being
appreciate it. I just wanted to also remind everybody to vote. Check your voter registration.
I checked mine last night.
In
at the
Texas,
Oprah thing.
you are not able to vote. You are not able to register online. It looks like you can, but you can't. So be aware of that and check your registration.
Someone told me that, and I had never heard that before yesterday. Someone said that in the comments last night. I didn't know that you have
Yeah,
to
you can
send
print
in
it out. Like you
paperwork?
can. It's like a whole bunch of stuff, and it looks like you're submitting it online, and you're submitting everything else except for the voter registration. You have to actually print that out and take it in. Yeah, they're doing it on purpose.
Tricky.
In addition to all the police showing up at people's doors. Hey, did you help register people? Like all of the things.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're wrong to say it. They're doing investigations about who's registered people, who signed abortion petitions. It's a scary time to be
It is.
in the
I
South.
just love being in the South. South rocks. Oh, also, before you kick me, I just wanted to have my son say one more thing. Hey, what do I always tell you? Informed.
With the absolute consent.
One more time.
Informed enthusiastic
Oh.
consent.
Informed, enthusiastic consent, because I'm raising him right.
Don't make me cry. That's such a God. What great mother. What a great mother you are. You have a great mother. What's your
His
son's
name is
name again? I
Elliot.
forgot. I won't forget again. Elliot. What a cool name. Elliot, have a great weekend. You're a great kid. See you next week.
He's gonna try to skip school again next week, so we're not gonna let him. But you probably see me. So.
Go learn.
Anyway, you suck or rock, depending on how we're taking compliments this week. But we love you, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great weekend. Oh, that was so adorable. What a great way to end the week. Hey, Tony, can you unmute yourself? I think you're the last person, or I can unmute you. I'm learning now how to do that.
You're the last person.
Yes, I can hear you. I've learned now how to do that.
You're the last person.
Yes, I can hear you. Tony, I dropped you because there's an echo. Can you just re-request, and hopefully there won't be an echo this time, and if there is, we may not be able to talk. If you have Bluetooth headphones in, I would take them out in case you have them in, because that can cause that echo. I didn't think you had an echo when you were first up here. I didn't hear it the first time.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. We're good.
My cousin and my brother-in-law are both so far up Trump's butt. It's sickening. And I know.
There's a lot of people up there.
As far as my brother-in-law goes, I have 2 nieces and 2 great nieces, and a sister. So having all women in my family, how could anybody vote for that? Him. I don't even want to say his name.
In my honest answer, like I could tell you, like it's Friday and I'm very frustrated after this week and give you like kind of dark sarcasm and humor. But like quite honestly, and here comes my empathy, I don't think it's actually quite in line with American psychology. Like we grow up in authoritarian households. We are indoctrinated into authoritarianism through Christianity, through religion. We are taught not to question ridiculous things that make no sense, right? Like it's all through belief. Don't question authority, like act on faith. All of these things, when the nuclear family is authoritarian, especially when religious, it's you follow what your parents say, you don't question them. Like I was raised in a household where I couldn't question people, but all there was things happening that made no sense, right? Like so I think for a long time, I was kind of indoctrinated to be that way, or I had a really big problem with what the truth was because I realized, like my parents don't want the real truth. They want me to spew back what their truth is. So it's like, yeah, I think we are primed in this country to be indoctrinated into high control groups. We're raised in them. But yeah, I get what you're saying of just the absolute, like, when you're not in it, why can't they see?
Absolutely. And the more I try to explain things to them, it's like they don't care. And that bothers me to a point where you couldn't fathom.
Believe you me, I think you have to meet my parents. So yes, I do know. I used to scream till I blew in the face about it. Like you can try different strategies, but cognitive dissonance is just hard to break through, right? But I agree. That's why I'm here and providing resources and evidence and also support, because sometimes there's people who will not change their mind. Like they are going down with the ship.
Let them.
Like, they're going to drink. They'll drink the Kool-Aid at the end, Tony. Like we're almost.
They'll come find in November when Kamala Harris gets elected. So.
Well, yeah, we're almost at the Kool-Aid and the Adidas tracksuits stage. So. Like we're almost there. Like it can't go on for much longer. Or the point at which Trump's not going to live forever. Like you can't idolize someone who is fallible and is also not
That's a
going to be
good
around
point, but
forever.
there's
So
always going to be
you
somebody
know,
who's like him. There's always going to be.
Oh no, I agree, but that's what would be interesting with MAGA. Like, can somebody consolidate power and be as charismatic as Donald Trump? Like, more people will peel off. It's going to be harder and harder to keep it going. And yeah, I understand your. All I can say to you, Tony, are you in the Discord?
How do you get
Get in
in
the
the Discord?
Discord, and oh, well, you can message. This is at Felice Navidad
Okay.
Live. This right here. You can just take a screenshot right now. It's a TikTok account. Just message them and say you want a link to the Discord. It's just an online community. It's an app where we all like all the outlines, all the information I give, like the clips, everything I play on here is in there. All the articles, and then it's just a community of people who like-minded people who are in similar situations where you can express your
Which I have a lot.
frustrations. And gather. Oh, trust me, you'll fit right in, Tony. We have a place for you,
All right,
Tony.
thank you.
So I'll see you. Hopefully I'll
Yeah.
see you around. See you next week.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
You
You're
too.
the best. Gosh, did we survive another week of politics? I just can't even believe it. Another week has gone by. We're like 46, 47 days till the election. I'm planning on doing a subscriber only live sometime this weekend. There will be more information coming up soon, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's see, who's in the guest box? Just checking. Hold on, I'm going to talk to one more person. What's going on?
Oh,
Hello?
goodness.
Or
Are
maybe
you
they
there?
didn't. Hello?
Hi.
Yes, I'm here. I saw
I
you a
love you
second
so
before I
much.
left. So what's going on?
You are quite a inspiration, even for an older generation. I'm a Gen X, and I just love listening to you and learn so much from you.
I learned so much from you guys. Like, I just see this as a community of people. Like, I cannot exist literally if you without you guys. You guys, like, it keeps me going. You guys keep me going. I keep you guys going. It's a symbiotic
Yes, I
relationship.
am in your Discord, but I'm under Jules, and then I also
Amazing.
have sent
Then you
you
know.
a few Venmos.
Oh, okay.
It's under Julie. Yeah.
I know who you are now when you said Jules. Okay, amazing.
Yeah. So, because I know it's different.
It's so hard from Discord to hear, like, connecting people. Do I? Yeah, I do follow you. Okay.
So it's, yeah. I just love listening to you. I sometimes, I listen to you mostly, but I also listen to Misha a lot. And so I have a hard time flipping. Yeah,
Mishi, yeah, she's great.
I know. I'm
Love
like,
Mishi.
oh, you two need to do something together.
I know. I was thinking, like, I actually was thinking that in my head right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely love her. She's great.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I'll switch in between the both of you to listen, but mostly you. And I just wanted to say that.
We love
Yeah.
us strong women.
I just wanted to say that I've learned so much, and you're awesome and beautiful. And
I hate taking compliments, but I'm
Good.
getting so much better.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I will let you go so you can get about your day.
Go to sleep. Get some sleep. I know I'm tired from yesterday. I'm gonna get some sleep, but I'm so glad I
Yes.
caught you and I
Yes.
got to talk to you. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the Discord after I
Okay,
wake up
sounds
from
good.
my nap.
Thank you.
Bye. I know, Kimber, I love Mishi. She's absolutely great. I listen to her when I can. Yes, let's do Raise the Roof. We've made it through another week of politics, another week of dragging Kamala Harris to the win in this election. Starts Monday. I am literally going to take a nap right now. I've gotten like 3 hours of sleep last night. And then I will see you guys in the Discord, and I'll be figuring out. I know, like, people have asked me a lot of questions and have sent messages. I'm going to try to figure out this weekend, do tutorials on TikTok Studio, try to figure out more of that stuff. I know I have a million kinks to iron out and processes and things like that. I'm trying to get to them. Just be patient with me. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the Discord. Yeah, Betty, take a nap. Everyone take a nap, and we'll see each other later tonight. Stay cute and